To be going in with the ultimate. Sejuani ultimate missing the backline completely. MF ult coming down, taking down only the Volibear with the Vi ult in the backline on the ADCs. The jungler's gonna go down. Be a triple kill for the way, maybe even going for a quadra.
Welcome everybody to Lodestar Esports Twitch channel. I'm of course NixV, together joined by Zathdos, and we'll be covering an incredible match today of G2 Hell versus Team CD. But first of all, of course, Zathdos, how you doing?
I'm doing good, pretty excited, have a little bit more extensive knowledge on G2 Hell. Remember NLC Division 2 back into the day, Aurora Cup, a few of the members, but we still have to talk about Team CD. Very exciting, of course, hailing from the Swedish league where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. So two incredible teams. We got Team CD, all Swedish team member. They do say that they're kind of in it for the fun, but let's be real. Once you're in Division 1 of SOL, you're a bit beyond just having fun. You're also just very good. They'll be up against the all women's team of G2 Esports. We all know G2 Esports, of course, but Zathdos, you know even more than me, so I'll just let you do the talking.
Well, there's plenty to talk about both of these teams, but for G2 Hell, you mentioned beforehand, all-female roster, and they are playing fantastically well whenever they get themselves a massive lead, and they like to cook a little bit. There was a few times where I saw flashed into the base level 1 with the Nyla tech. That sort of shenanigans is what this team is all about. They came from Burger Flippers back in the day, got picked up by G2 for how well they started playing, played in NLC Division 2, a little bit too tough for what they were meant to be at. So then they came down here to the Swedish league. And this game is so important for both of these teams. You said about Division 1, the importance of it isn't really playing for fun anymore. It's professional. These teams are better than you and me will ever be at League of Legends. But the big issue is whoever loses here today isn't going to be in Division 1 anymore.
Yep, they will be going down to Division 2, so everything to lose today. But of course, we kind of make one a positive. So it means also, of course, the team that is going to win today's best of 3 will be having another shot at staying in the league. And of course, that is most important because it also gives you like more chance to even rise back into the NLC. And you know, that is absolutely the goal in the end, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be very difficult to get up to NLC for a lot of these teams. As remember, you used to be NLC Division 2, 3, and 4. Remember, 3 and 4 have been gone for quite a while, but this Division 2 has just been taken away. So a lot of pressure to stay in this league as there's going to be more teams coming down, which are even better than G2 Hell or CD, but very high stakes in the line. And I'm quite concerned for both of these teams because in their last series, both teams went 0-2 against their opponents.
Yeah, not only that, I did some digging, and these two teams have been facing off, and last time we saw them, it was actually Team CD pulling ahead in a 2-0 victory. Of course, this was in the regular season. There is like 2 months beyond that, so I'm very excited to see what G2 Hell has been improving on, to see if they can take down Team CD this time.
Yeah, it's really hard because they have been losing so much in recent times. How would you start turning around? Me, myself personally, lost a few too many games in solo queue and it knocks my confidence. What do you think it does for a whole roster who hasn't been able to win for quite a while? So a confidence boost here for sure, whoever can take that game 1. And that's maybe why in the Swedish league we've seen, instead of just 1-1, maybe a 2-1, just barely scraping it by, it's always a clinical 2-0. It's the funny thing that CD put on towards their Twitter is a whole line of every single team, and they put themselves above G2 Hell. So I think CD are liking their favors this game.
All right, well, we will be seeing it very shortly if they indeed do like those odds enough, because G2 is not O2. they're here to win the games, and it's just going to see if they can do it with their star bot lane. If Team CD can pull ahead or not, that is like the biggest question, I think, because like looking at the stats, I think G2 bot side will like potentially be their way of winning the entire game. Of course, we have to talk about the top laner as well. Incredible Gnar plays. Like just a phenomenal player, really. And there's like many angles that G2 Hell can take to win, but they're up against a team that, again, has beaten G2 Hell before.
It's going to be very difficult, like we keep mentioning, but we can dive a little bit deeper into how the playstyle of both these teams go. Of course, G2 Hell, you talked about their bot lane, the real engine for this team, and when I think about it, I just have to just keep talking about them because they were the only two left from Burger Flippers that joined in NLC Division 2 that we talked about earlier. They love to play a big tank engage support like the Leona or the Rel, and then with their AD carry being on these hyper carries, maybe a bit of Kog'Maw has come around in the meta. Even the Caitlyn is a possibility, and that's going to be so crucial to have a dash on these AD carries, as on the opposite side of CD, their jungler is a J4 OTP, so I don't think we can have any immobile ADCs.
Yeah, I mean, like, you would say that, but the immobile ADCs have been getting very good in this game, like, because they're always scaling so much in games, and with the item nerfs since, like, 4.19 patch, those characters, those AD carries have been getting so much stronger. They scale much better because games take much longer as well. So I would expect like more protect the AD carry comps instead of like all-ins like you have seen before. But I did check the Team CD description, and it says that the game is over within 15 minutes, win or lose. So I'm kind of looking for dive comp from them, to be honest.
Yeah, Team CD is very much dive focused. I think the Camille is definitely going to get banned towards the top lane because you talked about the Gnar beforehand, very strong for G2 Hell's top laner, but gets countered by that Camille, so taking that off the board can be super helpful. They get this J4 as well, they can play this front-to-back team fighting comp. As you talked about keeping your AD carry safe, in a lot of their games, both their support and their jungler picks up locket first items, so I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, of course, you kind of also want that on dive comps, right? You want lockets on there as well, because, you know, the more tanky you get, the longer you can dive people. So, like, what I'm really wondering is if Colomb BB is going to play the Renata, because that is a champion that's really good into dive comps, as we saw T1 Keria just completely dominating Gen G because they always kept diving and diving and diving comp in the worlds, and just the sole Renata was just able to stop that every single time. I just wonder if Column even plays that.
From what I've seen, it doesn't really seem like it. I've seen the Leona and the Alistar and the Rel as the highest priority down towards this bot laner. They can do everything Renata does, except for, I guess, give more attack speed towards your AD carry, because there's a certain amount of damage an AD carry can do. But then when you add Renata onto that, that's 70% W you can give onto them at max rank. Your AD carry can start blowing people up, so maybe going for that adaptation could be worth it. But personally for me, you talk about Renata, I want to see Emilio, I want to see Cog Lulu down towards the bot lane. I feel like Enchanters can come back in towards the meta, especially with how the rest of the team likes to go, as their top lane instead of the Gnar can still pick a sign if they want to, maybe go for some of those cross-map plays it. They want to keep signs super far behind. There's so many possibilities. It's just a question, which way do they want to go to stop the dive from CD?
Yeah, and just looking at Liz's last picks in the top lane, I already mentioned Gnar, of course, but we also see a Skarner, Sion, and Rumble. So what that means, they really want to play the weak side top lane. So even if there's going to be like a lane swap meta happening here in this game as well, they will always be prepared to do that. So Lysia, they will just simply soak up XP, get much stronger than hopefully their the top lane opponent, and even though like they won't get as much gold as you really want, doesn't really matter because XP is the biggest difference.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. Now, I feel Poppy could definitely be a possibility as well with a counteraction towards the J4, stopping the flag and drag, maybe stopping the engage from the Galio towards the mid lane, which they have to worry about as well. And it feels like we're back at 2015 with this CD lineup. They just want to play the 1-3-1, have a safe AD carry, and mostly just clear those waves to let your top laner and your mid laner carry the game. As we see Galio in mid, we saw the way, and we saw, of course, the Aurora, which is so powerful in the recent meta. And at that point, it feels like CD, the way they like to play is they are so deep with their playstyle. They can pick anything. It feels, while on G2 Hell, they seem more simplified on their playstyle, that if one champion gets banned away like that now in the top lane, is G2 Hell's top lane going to be okay?
I mean, there's many more champions that they can play, of course, so I think we'll be fine. Just that in the 1v1 might get overpowered just a little bit by their opponent, because as you said, they really like the 1-3-1. They will always be in position to go for a team fight for whenever they are. The Galio, of course, we kind of saw that, and we're also popping up as well and really dominating. And I personally have been seeing Galio much more in solo queue as well, so it's definitely one of those champions you have to be
world effect.
worried about. Yeah,
that's the big thing. Everybody's been playing more around the Void Grubs. Everybody's been loving T1, I would say more than ever, but everyone, of course, adores that team, no matter what the time. So we've had the Worlds effect. Do you think we're going to have an Arcane effect? Of course, no spoilers here today on the stream. Do you think we're going to see a Vi, a Jinx, maybe... there's so many different options. Maybe a Caitlyn as well. Just go with the full Vi team.
I'm gonna assume that Ambessa is not legal in this game. So
that champ is so busted, man. Do not play against it. I'm gonna get some sins out here. I played a Teemo top game against it. It killed me still with Swiftness boots. It can catch up to me with W on Teemo and Swiftness boots. Absolutely broken as a champion. So please, it's either permaban or it's already taken off the board by Riot itself.
It's just a question that if she's legal in the SOL yet or not, because she's like very recently put into the league roster, so I would assume there's like at least a 1 or 2 week cooldown, so won't be seeing that, luckily, because I would be worried if I was any AD carry as well for that champion.
You mean like, any player against that? Poppy's the only thing stopping.
Like, you would have like a character like Ezreal, who's renowned to be like uncatchable with the arcane shift together with a flash, and then she just comes in and says, yeah, actually I have 6 dashes, so I don't care.
I think the best possibility to try and stop her is simple lockdown, because if we talk about she has so many dashes, so many ways to outplay, just pick Malzahar mid. Just press R on it. Don't have to worry about it. Go next game. You're never going to have to see that champion again, or even Justana in the bot lane. Something that I think can come a little bit more back into the meta as the jump away, like you said, with the Ezreal, got the buckshot and the flash on top of that. Maybe that's enough to escape, but that's going to be really difficult to see. As Young Tao as the third item for AD carries has actually been a really big change to maybe how this bot lane is played. Maybe that's a benefit to G2 Hell.
Yeah, so looking at the characters that Catalyst really plays, I would see Smolder, Kalista, Ezreal. I also see a Ziggs in there, so you know there's always the flex to us going into AP bot lane together with the AD mid lane and top lane. But you already mentioned Arcane. I do see a Jinx as well. Hyperscaler gets very strong, only has to get excited once, and it's just every team fight can get swept by that character. So it's going to be a very interesting lane, of course.
Yeah, it's really hard for you to say Jinx and me to keep my mouth shut because of how good the season truly was. But we'll leave it there. Remember, everybody, we are just waiting for the game to start. Do we have any information on how long it'll be?
Doesn't seem yet, so we'll just be yapping and continuing on, of course. This is just a pre-game show, really. G2 Hell versus Team CD will start as soon as everything is ready. Up until then, we have to push Arcane out of your mind just a little bit.
Please help.
I'm not gonna mention a certain jungler with big metal fists anymore. What other junglers do you expect in this upcoming match? Because we've been talking about laners the entire time. Mid lane we have not talked about yet though, but I want to start with the jungle first.
I think that Skarner could be high in priority for both of these teams. I think it's absolutely busted. That ultimate being able to be multi-man. Of course, the amount of damage you have with Heartsteel first item and the tankiness you get on top of it, and the flexibility towards the top lane of G2 Hell, I think is #1 priority for both of these teams. You can pick it up for sure For the other junglers, of course, Sejuani, possibility, J4 for the CD lineup. It has been played in their last 2 games, Sejuani being the other one for both of these 2 teams. So I think those 3 are the highest priority. If we want to go a little bit more down for G2 Hell, I know their jungler has a little bit of a Viego in there. If we want to go for more of a burst comp, bring something like a Syndra towards the mid lane with it could be a big possibility. But mostly tanks in the jungles, tanks up towards the top lane, focus around the bot lane and get your lead there.
Yeah, so you would say that they really want ganking junglers, especially pathing towards the bot side. I think it's going to be very interesting because if, like you said, Viego, let's just hop into that character. If they would like go for a Viego, you could actually also get like a little bit of mind games going where he just gets red, gets the golems, and then instantly goes for like a level 2 gank in the bot lane because the red buff is just so strong for any type of gank. And if Team CD just opts to go for a AD carry that's very immobile, that's actually a very good scaling starting point for the Viego here. So I would be very interested in that actually.
I would agree with you, but if Viego's ganking level 2, if I'm the enemy jungler, I'm just perma-taking his camps. Viego's one of these champions that needs to try and hard scale as much as possible towards this late game. He wants, of course, Blade of the Rune King as fast as possible to start fighting early on, because if he's a little bit behind and he can't find that reset with the rest of his team, Viego is not the same champion as when he's able to burst someone, get the first kill, reset after reset after reset, and there's a reason we see so many pentakills in this one champion. So hopefully we will be seeing a little bit more scaling towards that, but I don't even expect it to be coming through. It has to be a tank jungler. And I want to see an early game lead coming out from the bot lane of either of these 2 teams. As G2 Hell, they've had so many struggles in this recent time. They haven't been able to find the victories they're meant to. And yes, they weren't good enough for Division 2, but they should be good enough for Swedish League Division 2. Or Division 1, sorry. I'm not trying to bait them to go down to Division 2. So I want to see a little bit more from them. And even from CD, the team you said that's here for fun, show me some crazy picks then.
Yeah, let's see if we are going to get some crazy picks because the beg and ban phase has just started. Starting with the bans, of course, we already see some AD carries being taken away. Caitlyn and Corki very strong in the meta right now, especially the Corki ban I really like because that champion is completely busted. Not sure what they were cooking with that one. But and on the other side, one of the very much scaling AD and AP carries, by the way, Kog'Maw also taken away.
Seraphine as well off the races. Lilia ban makes me question if they want to go for the matchup of, okay, you'll have one of the tank junglers and then we'll take the other one. J4 still a massive possibility. If they want to keep this available, are they going to have an answer for it? Of course, plenty of different options to go for. Aurora, something that we know Team CD likes to pick, and they pick Olaf. That's... It kind of makes sense if G2, their top laner, only plays these tanks, gives the possibility to know you're going into it.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those all-in characters that you really would like to see. So it's Olaf and Silas together with the Sejuani that can really just dive straight into the enemy backline and just take them down.
We're not talking about the Cassio? Cassio just got locked in. What? Okay, I don't care about the other champions. We need to talk about this one right here because I love it. I love it so much because Cassio loves when teams come in and most importantly, likes tanks. We talked about tanks so much before the game started. Now that they've all been locked in, Cassio with that miasma, with that ultimate to stun people up, can start blowing up people. And we don't even know if this is an AD carry or towards the mid lane. So great flexibility yet again. Hui, again, locked in as well. Still don't know who's going where. I'm expecting Hui mostly to be towards the AD carry, but we will have to see.
Yeah, of course, can be flexed towards the support as well, meaning that there's just like a three-way flex coming up pretty soon. Of course, Ashe Milio, very strong together to engage. I was wondering about the Ashe, to be honest, because it's such a strong engage champion, like very high priority right now, and being picked in slot number 4 is actually also kind of wild to me.
I don't like the Milio as much. I get it's very strong in lane. You can give a lot of damage towards your AD carry. But once you have an Olaf with your team, maybe the Renata was the call. You press W on him. He runs through the back line or anything else like a Lulu, even a Yumi could have been a possibility here. As Milio, after he has that first thing of using the ultimate to stop CC and the E, he doesn't really do much for your front line after that. So We'll have to see if this Olaf is going to be tanky enough to get towards that front line, as we will have Nami towards the bot lane. Of course, that E being able to deal extra damage with the ability. So it might be a Cassiopeia plus Nami towards the bot lane. At least that's what I'm expecting.
I'm actually expecting the Hui together with the Nami, because Hui has the new combo where he actually uses his auto attacks in between and empowering his own, especially when you combine that with Nami as well. There's just like a perma slow, perma mana. There's nothing really you can do to escape the burst anymore from Hui. The thing, of course, with Hui is once you have done the burst, that's kinda the damage already, but Nami just adds a little bit more to make sure that Hui gets his cooldowns back to maybe go for a second rotation. So that's also a very good combination you can get out of this team.
One thing I find very funny is, could you tell who they were trying to focus down on CD? What player do you think they were trying to get out of it with their bans?
Not really, to be honest. Like
it's AD carry. It's clearly AD carry. You have Caitlyn, you have Corki, both ADC. Seraphine, like you said, AD carry. Then the Jinx and the Vows on top of it. They don't want Countess to play this game at all. That's probably why we saw the way come through, because of how many things can do the possibility. And I'm questioning if we got to see the draft straight away, because these pick and bans were too fast for my opinion. So maybe they did it beforehand and got ourselves into that. But overall, I'm a bigger fan of Team CD slightly. I think it's a little bit too AP heavy for G2 Hell. And more importantly, if they're playing this front to back team fighting comp, does these two AD carries of the Hui and of course the Cassiopeia have enough damage to stop this top laner? Because you got the Ragnarok, you're not able to use the ultimate from Cassiopeia to stun it. I think he's just going to run through the full team.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do to stop the Olaf, as you've been saying. When the ultimate pops, of course, you have a new item that gives him even more movement speed when he uses his ultimate as well. So, like, what can you really do against this Olaf? Like, even if he goes for like if they go for like a 1-3-1, this Olaf will just run straight to the team fight where it happens, and he will be there before you even know it, really, to just deal the damage from behind. And the Hui and Cassiopeia, they have no tools to really escape him, even if they wanted. So once they're locked into a team fight, they have to commit. I think that's the biggest thing here, where Team CD is just going to be able to dictate the beginning of a team fight up until the end of a team fight, because they have the best engages on their team with Ashe ultimate and of course Sylas, who can just steal any engage ultimate from the G2 Hell squad in for example Impale, or even like the Cassiopeia ultimate as well, even the Nami ultimate, really. So they have all the tools to engage whenever they want, and I think it's just up to G2 Hell to consistently adapt to it, maybe out macro them as well and get their leads that way.
Couldn't agree with you more. Is Olaf going to be able to do enough? I'm curious if Melia might be able to pick up Shreddy, a second item, have a little bit more movement speed, allow him to just run through the enemy team, because you can just do Redemption into Shurelius. You've done your job as an Enchanter. You don't need to do more than that. You just say, Olaf, win the game for me, please. At least that's what I would do in their situation. But we're getting pretty close to the game starting up here. G2 Hell, do they have enough towards this bot lane? Is Hui Countess going to be able to carry the team? As for me, this bot lane, I don't even think they get push in this lane, as this Nami is going to turn to sushi later on.
Yeah, so I think it really is going to be about the early game. I want Sunny Spot to just hover the bot lane the entire time. The thing is that Sejuani will do the exact same thing, probably. So in that sense, like, what can you really do? What I do think with the Cassiopeia up against the Sylas, as we expect, we still don't know for sure, who knows, right? Is that Cassiopeia is really good at bullying the Sylas, because even if you would get Sylas, so even if Sylas would want to engage, once Cassiopeia has a puddle down on you, he can't dash anymore. That means his entire E skill is gone. He can't do his dash. He can't use the chains after, because he doesn't have the chains yet. So he can, she can lock the Sylas down, just get a lot of damage with her E consistently, and just make sure that Sylas does not really get to scale. Of course, Cassiopeia has the better push as well. So in that sense, I think through the mid lane, they can really get some advantages.
So I would agree with you, but I'm just in my head imagining a Sejuani ultimate towards the mid lane, stuns up this Cassiopeia, and then a dead mid laner. Of course, level 6 has to come through before that happens. Early game Cassiopeia, like you said before, very good with this high prio. So maybe with both of these ganking junglers we talked about, we said that it was mostly going to be the Sejuani into, of course, that Skarner. Now that it's gone that way, can they get something towards the bot side? Because if I'm G2 Hell and I see an Olaf and a Sejuani and a Silas, I'm not going anywhere near that. I'm completely saying, okay, if you want the Void Grubs, get the Void Grubs. We'll play towards the bot lane, but we'll just wait, have to see.
Yep, and here we go, heading into game number 1 between G2 Hell and Team CD. It's all to lose here because whoever goes down in this best of 3 will be heading down a division as well. So let's see who's going to take it between these two teams. Let's go.
High stakes, lots on the line. Are we going to see any... Yeah, once that level 2 comes through and you can just W your Ashe, she just walks forward and slows you down and can run you down. Of course, with the opposite side, you do have the enemy AD carry who can just clear the waves almost as fast as possible. Interestingly, Sejuani will be full clearing towards the top side as the big goal for CD is trying to find a lead either towards their mid laner or the top laner who have taken double Conqueror this game.
Yeah, we already see the poke coming down. As you said, the Conqueror is going to be very strong in those extended team fights. So that's exactly what they want as well, because Ashe running the lethal tempo, Silas Conqueror as well. They just want fights. They want fights to happen every single time. And just looking at the runes of the opposing side, they want to poke a little bit more. So again, if Team CD is able to dictate every single team fight, that is a major advantage to them. Oh, and we already see the early gank coming up here. And oh, the flash being forced and Skarner popping up as well to say, no, that is my mid laner. Maybe we can get something back here as the Sejuani is being smashed against the wall. A little bit of chip damage on the Sejuani, making her jungle life a little bit more difficult. You can already see that Skarner is invading to see if they can maybe get a kill on the Sejuani here. Has to be forced out of the jungle.
And it's just a big mistake coming out from the CD jungler. No, you don't need to go for a play towards the mid lane there. You know that Skarner is pathing against you, most likely knows that you are there, and now that you went for the trade and lose out on it, Skarner can just walk in. He's got prio top, got prio towards the mid lane as well, and he could have actually stayed for longer if he wanted to bully Sejuani off this blue buff, as Sejuani might be strong with the team. She isn't very strong on her own.
Exactly, of course, when Sejuani has her passive up, or can stack her passive easily, she's very strong because she can trade very well, do some extra damage that you don't expect. The thing is, it was just not allowed here because she already expended it on the Cassiopeia. And then just traded back magnificently. Of course, Skarner did not get much more than just one camp steal. So, you know, in the XP department, it shouldn't matter as much. But Sejuani has nothing to do up until the Scuttler is going to is already taken. Actually, never mind that. Will be spotted out in mid lane as well. So she will just be hurrying up away, go back to the bot side, maybe get the camp on the respawn. But you already see Skarner is really putting the pressure on Sejuani here to just not be able to take that. Has the recon potentially. Skarner going
but
for
they
a
don't
mid lane
know.
Gank here?
Is he going to be able to stop Sejuani? Oh, not going to be able to. But so many things have happened early into the game, and it's all going to be around this mid lane. Still got Flash.
Yeah, another bit of chip going to force Skarner, force Silas back to base here. So that gives the mid laner of G2 Hell a little bit more time to get a bit of farm, get the push. It seems that they really want to slow push here.
Well, more importantly, is actually able to set up a freeze towards the mid lane. So Skarner going for the reset now. Maybe could run straight back out and look for another play towards the mid lane. So when we start going over towards the gold, nothing major has happened just yet. A little bit on both sides is mid.
Yeah, this is a bit major though, because they lock down the Cassiopeia. It will be Base Hunter on the Silas getting first blood here together with Emilio.
Yeah, got enough damage to just get through that. Bjorn with that W, just a little bit extra. Sebastian Hunter being able to stop this freeze and push it under. If Cassiopeia didn't go for reset early and had the teleport available, maybe she would have been able to keep this freeze for longer. So a little mistake there for staying a bit too long. And this whole game has been coming down to a little ward here, a little bit of extra vision. As that first play that went down, it was actually the ward that the mid laner put to know that that was going to happen, to be able to stop it and make the wave state we have. So first blood over towards this mid laner, and Bass Hunter, who's already got himself the first item.
Yeah, and here we go back into a replay. As you can see, the engage here.
Yeah, engage coming through. There's nothing really to say more than, do you think that Miasma's going to do something? Not when you have the amount of damage on Silas earlier on. Yeah, you just go for a reset before anything.
Yeah, it was really the lockdown you had as well, right? With the change from Silas getting the little knock up as well after the snare. And then into the Emilio getting a knockback as well. It's just unescapable. And they will be trading... Actually, they won't be trading objective here. There's very good macro play here from G2 Hell to just get the Void Crabs here and get an early push, of course. They don't... I would say they don't really have the team where it's like very effective on them, except maybe the Gnar. But at least you make sure that the enemy team doesn't get it.
Yeah, it's all just negating what the enemy team can do, because Olaf, once he gets their ultimate, which he has now, he could start actually bullying out Gnar if he wants to. If he ever gets to a position where he can just ghost him down, he can get so many tower plays. So stopping that is definitely going to be useful for them. One thing is, this bot lane has been quite quiet from what I expected. Usually when you watch a G2 Hell game, it's all about bot lane. How can we gank? How can we get this AD carry Countess far enough ahead? But more here is just farming up, seeing if they can get that first item, and once that starts coming through for either of these bot lanes, they can start going for these heavier trades and maybe looking for a kill.
Yeah, they will see that they are going to take away a bit of vision here. Emilio just completely zoning them away, and only because Silas was actually forcing out forcing that entire situation, basically, because missing in the mid lane, especially when he shows that he is going towards the bot side, it just means that Wei and Nami can't contest, because they don't know where the jungler is, they don't know where the mid laner is, they only know that it's around that area, so they have to be very careful about it, so that Emilio could just overstep without being punished.
Yeah, CD in the bot lane are going to be able to keep up the prio, but they aren't having enough to get themselves the dragon. They need either a pick towards the bot lane or towards the mid lane to get this dragon, and because of how long this is taking, it gives an opportunity for them just to be farming. As we talk about Olaf at level 6, this is what Olaf at level 6 can do. Already got those armor boots available. Gnar can never run him down until first item.
Yeah, and even then, do you really want to go for like a 1v1 against Olaf?
No, not at all. I'm going to be interested if Olaf wants to actually try and contest the dragon, if he walks straight down bot lane here, but instead he will just be heading towards top lane, going to clear that wave as fast as possible. And the reason that a lot of top laners do this is when they don't have TP, Oh, Flash not going to be able to hit. But when they have that TP, they aren't ever going to be able to find that reset because the wave's going to crash in. So if you get their wave so far under their tier 2 tower, you can get back and you literally lose nothing.
Yeah, Ash Arrow is going to be flying away as well. And at a low cooldown, at a low level, the cooldown will be quite high still. So there's a gauge gone. The thing is that Team CD completely has control over the bottom side of the jungle, and that Drake being up, it doesn't seem that it is a very major pick for both of these teams, because Olaf heading back towards the top side really means that it wants to make sure that the Gnar does not get those plates to get ahead in gold.
Yeah, and when we actually look at the gold, there's been a slight gold lead towards this mid lane. It is at about 700. The main thing that I actually saw was that Flash was taken away from Shah, which means the next 4.5 minutes for this Cassiopeia is in such a dangerous territory. You said about the pressure from the Sejuani or from the Asho. Yes, they're down now, but they are going to be available before that is up. So we talked about G2 having a terrible top side when the Sejuani is there. Now with them roaming up here, G2 are an even worse situation.
Yeah, and this is where we were really talking about like the 1v2 situation, where Gnar really cares more about XP than gold, and Olaf, I would say, really likes items a little bit more. The thing is, with a short level lead, I think he will be able to potentially, if they get a gank from the Sejuani, completely take a fight. But it seems that on his own, he likes those odds as well. Look at that, just completely running down the way here and goes for that 1v2, making Nami flash, but it doesn't really matter. He can reset on the axe every single time. Now Skarner gets the gank here onto the Olaf, but Olaf sustaining completely through all of these attacks. Impale will suppress him against the wall, and finally it is Sheena getting the kill on Olaf, but that is a bad sign for the G2 Hell squad.
And look at how much they had to expend. Flash heal and flash on the AD carry. As towards the mid lane, nice little trade. It's going to be able to find it there, but Olaf knowing that he doesn't ever win if he just stays under that tower, and he was going to get chunked out too much, so that was the only time he could have made that play. And with, of course, Skarner towards the bot lane, the other 3 Void Grubs will be going over to the side of CD. Very happy with how that play went.
Yeah, as we see the mid lane getting stunned completely, and look at that, the lockdown. Cassiopeia could just get nowhere. Shah being a detriment right now. It's simply like, once the Sylas is in the lane, Shah just is not able to really get something happening there, because there's always an engage happening, and it just means that Cassiopeia will not be able to really get the leads as she wants.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Dragon should be going over, but look towards his mid lane. A fantastic Ash Arrow straight onto the Cassiopeia. And we talked about before, no flash available. They're able to go in the next 5 minutes to get themselves that kill. So 2 kills over towards the Sylas. First item completed and 4 stacks on towards that Medjai's or the Dark Seal. He's in a very good spot to try and carry this game. As Sylas, one of those champions, with paired up to Sejuani and Olaf. Can they run down the team of G2 Hell? We saw Olaf do it by himself. You add the Sylas on top. I think the answer might be yes.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be a very big thing towards the G2 Hell squad to really think about what they can do, what they can potentially build against this Olaf, because they will be needing a lot of sustain and a lot of upfront damage to take this Olaf down. No CC will stop him. Cassiopeia is going to go for DPS, so she can't really burst, so it's all up to the Hui to really burst down and to make to be able to survive that. The thing is, it's just not, it's not Olaf alone that you have to be worried about, because the Sylas, as you've been mentioning, has been getting many advantage in the mid lane as well. So it's just looking very bad for G2 Hell, and it's extremely good for Team CD.
And it's the big threat of, you have an AP carry in mid, you have an AD carry towards the top side. If you want to try and itemize to make where one doesn't deal damage, the other one's going to be taken over. Still, G2 Hell in an okay situation, only 300 gold down, even though it is 3 kills to 1. And the longer the game goes, they are just going to look better and better and better as Olaf, after 2 items, starts to downscale. Same with the Silas, but I might have to hold that. Gank towards bot lane.
Yeah, they will be trying to get the Olaf out here. We do see a teleport coming in as well, so potentially a 1 versus 4. Olaf is trying to deal as much damage as he can before going down, and he actually managed to survive for a little bit longer than expected, but Gnar picking it up, so Lysia gets a kill.
But still again,
tower, though.
Well, yeah, what do they get to force it out? Olaf, having no flash, having no ghost, uses the Ragnarok, but that is it. Compared to the teleport and the flash from the top laner, and they don't even get themselves first tower. This clearly wasn't how G2 Hell was envisioning it.
Yeah, continue your point.
No, that was mostly it, but we will be having a replay of this next play. Now, the big thing about this bot lane that we talked about before is that they are able to capitalize so easily towards the top side. I get that you want to try and kill this Olaf, but this isn't the big point. You're happy to be able to farm with Gnar. You're able to farm with this Wedge. You can make this play with 3 members. The big thing is you just don't have Gnar TP down here.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I think they just want to make sure that Olaf doesn't get this much stronger so fast, because they really wanted to push in that tower. Sadly, it was, sadly for them, it was Team CD taking the first tower in the top lane. It was already low enough to really just get everything there. And I feel like, as you've been saying, Gnar just being top would be a little bit better, because Gnar has an easier time getting farm than Olaf, even though we saw that Olaf could just 1v2 if he really wants to. But with the Skarner hovering there, I don't really think he would have a chance to farm other than underneath the tower. So you would have to question that decision.
Now, Nick, I'm very excited if CD does the thing I think they're going to do. They built Static Shiv on their AD carry to be able to clear these waves against the Hwei and, of course, the Nami, to allow the rest of the team to play the star with the Ash arrows. Most importantly, though, we talked about the Shurelians, the possibility of picking it up and having your Gnar and Silas being able to run down the enemies just a lot quicker than before. With those itemized, I think on next back he might be able to buy it, but we'll just have to wait and see, as Rift Tower did go over to the side of CD. Of course, that is most likely going to get placed towards the mid lane. Dragon in the next minute's time. G2 Hell, I don't think they should contest it, but I think they will anyway.
Yeah, what I think they should do is go for a push in the mid lane here to make sure that the Herald is not very effective yet when the Dragon is going to spawn and when they potentially will contest it. But as you said, I don't think they should either, because yes, it's the second Drake, but at the same time, it is only the second Drake, because the soul point is only going to be taken when there's 4 Drakes down. So the second Drake doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, and it seems like G2 Hell will be agreeing with us. They're hovering towards the top side, trying to get more gold in towards their Cassiopeia with Sha. Somebody who has done fantastic this season, somebody who's pretty new towards this G2 Hell lineup. And the big thing is, with Cassio, once you get towards 2 items, you're tanky and you deal a decent bit of damage. But once you get to 3 items, that's when you are super online. So G2 Hell waiting out, trying to pick up more gold towards their pocket. Of course, Dragon, not going to be the name, but when it's the second one, I think you're okay with it.
Yeah, we do see that it's going to be a fight in the mid lane, but most importantly, oh, the ult's going over and straight. It's not going to hit anyone but Gnar. Ooh, arrow actually barely being dodged, but what I want to say is, at the same time, bot turret has been going down in a trade for the top side, and with the Herald still being active in the top lane, Olaf might get a second one and get the Drake for themselves as well. So Team CD is gaining everything here.
Yeah, as Dragon's going down.
Ooh. Oh, Olaf is getting engaged here, being locked against the wall. And yes, you have a lot of sustain, but do you have enough sustain to get a kill here? Yes, he will! Trade a 1-for-1 here.
Olaf as a champion is something, isn't it? First item plus boots, able to find that kill with the flash and the Ragnarok. And that fight was really scary for CD. They were trying to go for Dragon, plus to get picked off earlier in that mid lane fight, and then they make a play towards the top lane as well. It just felt so disjointed from this team. They should have pushed out mid lane together, gone for the dragon, and then made a play towards the bot sides. They are very lucky it worked out that way, as that second dragon has gone over. As we will be having a replay in just a second to see exactly what happened. Is this Olaf? You are 20 HP and you're somehow still finding this kill, flashing forward before the miasma comes down, allowing it to work. And yes, you give over the kill, but this Olaf is running the rift right now.
Yeah, that's just the pressure of Olaf right now, having so much movement speed and power. Just take down whoever he wants, and that is only to getting stronger as he is going to get items in trade. As well as, you know, getting 2 towers and a Drake in exchange for that.
Nick, I'm upset. We don't get the Shrelias. We got Moonstone first. Look, okay, I get it. It makes sense. You want to have a little bit of healing and shielding. Make sure that your Olaf at 20 HP can go up to 30 HP to be able to kill everything. But no fun. I wanted Olaf to go at the speed of sound in towards the enemy. But the game a lot closer than what I was expecting. It always feels like CD is winning out on these fights, but losing out on gold, mostly, as it's still only in 300.
Yes, Sejuani finding Skarner, overstepping just a little bit. Of course, they will be exchanging some blows, but other than that, they will simply return back to a neutral state. They're really trying to win the Vision War here. You already saw early that G2 Hell was putting all the wards down, making sure there was only no vision left for Team CD, but Team CD is just fighting back, and we've already been seeing the fights, and it's always been going their favor. Already looking for a fight here once again, and you saw Ashe shredding down Skarner's HP very easily, so Sheena is going to have to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, I think you're mostly fine on this champion for now, not having to worry too much of the enemy team trying to come through. As that gold lead that we talked about before, being at 700, has slowly started to get smaller. Olaf dying in that last fight gave an extra 300 over towards Shard. The big goal is get Shard to level 16, have that level 3 ultimate, and more importantly, get those 3 items. Once they're online, that is when I want to see G2 Hell go for these front-to-back team fighting comps. The question is, Dragon in 2 minutes, they know that they're not going to have it up in time. Do they still want to contest it, or do they want to give it up?
Yeah, again, the third Drake matters a little bit more because you get onto Soul Point, but it's alone, it doesn't really do as much. So they still have time. If they want to skill Cassiopeia some more, could still remain in the top side as she's doing now. The thing is, right, can you let them scale as well? Because we've been talking about Silas and Olaf as they've been going to drop a little bit in power as the game progresses. We're not at that point yet. And Ashe is one of those AD carries that can actually scale more and more and more. And I think eventually the runes are going to be a major factor as well, because we got 2 Conquerors and a lethality on the side of Team CD. So they want to fight and fight and fight. They will only get stronger and stronger and stronger the more those team fights are happening. On the other side, we kind of see it more towards the tankiness. We see a Conqueror on the Cassiopeia, but at the same time, we do see a gank here happening onto the Sejuani, overstepping just a little bit, and the Impale will lock her down. Having to use the flash though, Floop's trying to survive as long as he can to make sure their team is going to back them up, but no, it will not happen, and it will be Lysia getting another kill this time. So it will be 2 kills for the Gnar. So getting a little bit of strength back, but now potentially they want to see some mid lane, but they're simply going to let them farm back up because it's not a risk you really want to take.
Yeah, and I don't remember, Rift Herald was placed at some point in this game. It mustn't have had that big of an effect. The CD not getting much more from this Skarner behind their possibility of a play. Dragon up in 10 seconds. I would like it if they just push out this mid lane and go for the Dragon. They don't need to do too much more. They're scaling perfectly fine in the game, and we're seeing the same issues again and again from the CD lineup of Olaf. Yes, he's making these outplays. He's finding the 1v1s. But why are you taking these 1v1s? You need to instead be with the team and look for the team fights together. But with that Sterix gauge available, they can try to force people towards this if they are looking for a fight CD here.
Yeah, they really wanted to trade a potential Baron for the Dragon, and of course the Dragon will be dealt with before the Baron really gets triggered because of the vision from G2 being immaculate, using the blue ward, the arrow whiffing, so there's no engage here, but Sejuani is looking for something here and has to disengage because there's no clear stun that they can really get, and just look at the damage they can put on to the Olaf once they don't get a clear engage. Nami ultimate though, being thrown out prematurely, so not really getting anything here. But in the bot side though, Gnar with a massive ultimate, they will be trading it as well together with the Sylas, and now in between the Olaf and Sylas, what can you really do? Skarner to back them up. Olaf trying to snipe a kill out of that, but will be taken down before he really can do that. And now trying to just be cocky, I think. It will be Sobok going down.
It's just being a bit too cocky on CD. They aren't playing the macro correctly. Everybody's towards the mid lane trying to stop this play. TP towards the bot lane. Not looking.
Yeah, they will be trying to get the Sylas here, but he simply will dash out. The Sejuani using the ultimate to lock down this Skarner, impale on both of them, and here is Sha with the Cassiopeia all farmed up. Look at the damage, completely locked down together with the Nami bubble as well. Base Hunter has to just get out of there before he dies.
And this game is falling apart for CD. They were the ones in control for the first 20 minutes, but after that one play towards the mid lane, they used the Ash Hour, it misses, and they still overforce it while Gnar's in the bot lane getting as much vision as possible. But we'll just have to wait to see, as we will be having a replay in just a second. And we can just see again what Gnar does. If that actually hits as a Q, it would have allowed Skarner to find the ultimate straight away and found his first blood. As I thought it was over with Skarner being under this, but finding this double impale, Cassiopeia running down, G2 Hell being here first, lets themselves to collapse, finds, of course, that ultimate on top of it, and gets themselves the double kill. And this is all on the back of Cassiopeia being able to farm in this game. Take a look. Hit those 3 items, and what did I say? 3 item Cassiopeia starts to shred people.
Yeah, and become inescapable as well, because the perma slow, perma burn, and as well she can just pull down the puddle. But speaking of a puddle of blood maybe appearing in the top lane, as again Sobok overstepping, looking for fights he can't really take anymore. Look at that, trying to snipe out using true damage on Gnar, but Gnar is just simply jumping back, and this time Sheena picks up a kill.
It's just one of those risky plays that we just keep seeing from the top laner Olaf. We need to see you at the team. You can't run to anybody anymore. You've died 3 times on your own now. Of course you can't fight the Gnar. He has the Black Cleaver, an item notorious for being a tank killer, as Melio.
Yeah, trying to engage here.
Nice little sidestep.
Yeah, very good sidestep. Bjorn is getting away, potentially walking into another Skarner. Yep, wants to use that plant just to make sure that Skarner can't get free potential escapes. Now they're sieging the mid lane, so I really like the positioning from Sheena here. Again, just being everywhere where she needs to be. Okay, I was afraid that Hui was maybe going to get jumped on because Skarner was walking away a little bit, but knowing that the enemy team couldn't really get there, simply very safe.
I think this series is going to be a lot closer than what anybody expected. For me personally, I thought it was just going to be a 2-0 from either of these teams. It's been 27 minutes, kill after kill after kill to both of these teams, but it's still only 2,000 apart. They will be trying to gain control over this red buff. Should be able to take it away for free and get themselves out of it, but it's just so scary with how slow Sejuani's taking this.
Yeah, it's simply going to be a matter of... You would say, like, it's going to be patience because they really just want the Cassiopeia to really scale up some more. I think the thing is that Cassiopeia right now is already strong enough to really shred through, as you said, the tanks, together with the Gnar with the Black Cleaver. And what I really am wanting to see from Team CD is this Olaf just not overstepping and then making sure they work together with the jungler, because that is exactly why G2 Hell is fighting back right now.
Yeah, they just feel like they're more together. Everybody on CD going for different plays, trying to find their own techniques. They're looking for an arrow. Lands.
Yeah, and the arrow has been landed, having to use the ultimate from Sejuani as well, though. So that might be a factor, but it does seem that they don't want this elongated team fight. Skarner trying to catch the Ashe, but together they don't have the damage to really deal with 4 members of Team CD. And with that dragon spawning just now, that's going to be a massive pick for them.
Remember the conversation we had about they need to play together with the Olaf? That's exactly it. Find a Sejuani, find an Ashe arrow onto any member and then run them down with your Olaf. Don't go too far away. But yet again, we see that G2 Hell don't care about these objectives. They just want to get more gold into their pocket. As Skyner's completely said, sure, get yourself into Soul Point. Let's just get enough gold onto both of our carries that they can just contest you. So we'll come to a point in the game where Night's just going to be able to 1v1 the Olaf consistently without ever having to worry. And I think maybe third item is the way to do that.
Yeah, so let's see what they will be doing next, though, because they got the Dragon, Team CD. It means that they will concede most of the vision in the top side jungle. It means that Baron should be under control of G2 Hell as of now, but what I want to highlight is the ward that you just saw in the brush where Medio is, because that ward basically gives vision across the entire Baron side from mid to Baron. And that means that most likely they will be able to spot if there is going to be a threat of the Baron being picked or not.
Unless they're able to find a way to sneak around the vision by going towards the top side, but I'm not sure they know where that vision is. Nard yet again towards his bot lane, trying to have this Silas match him as much as possible. Nard very strong in that 1v1, now the third item.
Ooh, and the Ashe arrow has been used here, but I don't think they will be getting much
out
of this
there,
because Hui is definitely going to get rid of them, and now Skarner is able to be zoning them out. But again, it's simply the vision that keeps them into the fight. Just running, looking for a little bit of poke, but oh yeah, getting a bit of poke on Sejuani as well. Olaf, you can see them running towards the top side, but maybe being pinged back a bit.
Big thing is Olaf needs to find a way towards his backline. You can see he's trying to look for a flank, but he might just be getting caught out instead.
Oh yeah, there we go. Skarner again with the Ixtial impact, catching Olaf out. We do see a teleport coming in though, so Silas definitely wants to fight this. Let's see if they can take a 2 versus 3, and they definitely can. Cassiopeia be taken down, and the Hui is already dead because of the Sejuani as well. Now just looking for an entire ace. Skarner easily cleaned up by the Olaf, and now the Baron is going to be started, and I don't think a Gnar and Nami duo can really contest that.
Yeah, nothing they can do. Forcing the teleport Gnar from the bot lane. He wanted to have this fight not ever start. Let Gnar get thing towards the bot lane, but CD yet again finding the outplay. And the big question I have is, yes, you have 3 members. Yes, you have the Cassiopeia, but you're against a Olaf, somebody who could just keep running you down. Only one member of your team deals enough damage to dare deal with her. So of course they're going to lose this. So Olaf finding that double kill, that Silas teleport, they get themselves the Baron afterwards. A great play from CD and exactly what we wanted to see from them.
Yeah, as we are looking for the mid tower, of course it's still up for G2 Hell, but that won't be for much longer as these Baron empowered minions are going to siege it down, as well as a little bit of tidbit. You get 30% attack speed on a cannon minion in the mid lane when it's attacking a tower, so it's a little bit easier even to take down mid towers.
Yeah, really big possibility. One thing that we need to know is very AP heavy on G2 Hell's side. And they're going against a Olaf and a Silas. And Silas is Spirit Visage. It's going to be even harder to kill him in this next team fight, especially with the healing added on top of that from Bjorn with the W, with the heal, even with the E. If Olaf ever plays with the team like we saw in that last fight, I don't think G2 Hell has enough damage, even if both IKEA and G2 Shah are both damaging them at the same time.
Yeah, that is going to be the big question if Kaltis and Shah together will be able to take down the Olaf when they can. Of course, he will just run at you and get himself sustained, but looks that they will be trying to get a team fight here, but there was a great Q from the Milia, but it doesn't really matter in the end. The Ashe being picked off by the Gnar, flashing forward. They will be trading a tower in the top side and potentially in the bottom side. Silas going to kill the Cassiopeia pretty soon, but doesn't really matter when the Olaf being threatened in the top lane as well. Look at that, but the shield being active so long every single time, and he will be resetting every single time as well. So he will be trading a 1-for-1, and again, Olaf, just with so much pressure, he's going to take over this game once again.
And it's understandable. He has 4 items already completed. There was a point in this game where Gnar was a full item up on this champion, but finally outplays in that last major team fight. But the question is, again, did Olaf have to die there? Yes, he gets himself a kill. Sure, you'll be happy with it. But you could have just stayed alive and backed off and got ready for this major objective, because now with the Ashe being down, with Olaf being down as well, there's actually a possibility if G2 Hell want to take a fight now, they are going to be able to win it. So you can see they're just walking in looking for a fight.
Yeah, and then with the Olaf still on a 13-second respawn timer and no TP, is really going to be difficult for him to be in time. The thing is, we already see that Silas is just going to push that wave back once again, so they really want to keep pressuring lanes.
Trying to pressure the lanes as much as possible. This is sole point for them. Of course, going to be able to get that taken away.
Ashe completely called out by the Skarner here. Sejuani using the ultimate to make sure they are imprisoned, but what can they really do? The Impale barely whiffing on the Ashe, and now Ashe gets to just rain down the damage using the lethality rune and the items here. Look at that, Skarner shredded down, and that is a little bit of an overchase for G2 Hell here.
It's so disjointed. You see they're trying to find the teleport backs as fast as possible. Only one coming through. Teleport having to get used as well to stop this Silas. And CD are picking G2 Hell apart. And that all comes down to that flash over the wall from the Skarner in that last team fight. If he didn't do that, they would have found themselves the kill and got themselves out to safety without ever having to worry about this back line. So if CD can keep going for these fights, backing off afterwards, and then Silas pick them apart on the side lanes, that's the way to success.
All right, the thing is, what can G2 Hell do right now to get back into the game? Because Team CD is completely running them down. They get so much in every single lane, because we've been seeing this in the mid game and now here in the end game as well, is when G2 Hell is are going to make 3 of their team members happen somewhere, then Team CD just gets something else on the other side of the map. We saw the trade for Olaf for the inhibitor in the bot lane.
Yeah, very difficult indeed. Magic Pen has come through for the Cassiopeia, and maybe that's enough damage to try and get through the Olaf, who will be working on the GA for their next team fight. Only going to be available for one fight. We'll have to see if it's useful. It's down towards bot.
Yeah, Gnar is looking to get the big Gnar, but before that has almost been bursted down by the Silas, and in the end though, Mega Gnar has been popping up, meaning there's enough health to survive the burst from Silas.
Yeah, Bass Hunter did have the Zhonya's if he wanted to take a few more seconds to die there, but they wouldn't have found anything more. So dying earlier gives a possibility for the reset before the Baron, and look for this possibility. G2 Hell, yes, they don't have that many dragons spared to their enemies, but they are still very much in towards this game as well. Olaf's looking for a flank here.
Oh yeah, and the ultimate from Ashe has been hitting every single time. You can use the Impale all you want on Olaf. Olaf is a Ragnarok, you cannot CC him. You can just run down your team, but being taken down here, Skarner instantly knocks them back, the Gnar, and now they will just simply go for a cleanup. Sejuani, Floops flashing over the wall, will be making it out together with Emilio as well, but that is not a trade that you want, especially now that the Baron spawn. They will be simply getting that for free.
Yeah, going to be able to pick up the ban for free. No contestions inside, but it's all about the teleport being available. Exactly. Bass Hunter trying to get in towards the back line. It seems like a decent play at the start. Olaf, knowing Cassiopeia isn't here, has the damage to burst someone through, but Silas, already dying earlier in that last fight, gets taken out.
Yeah, and a little bit too early as well, because you really just want to stall the Baron out and just wait for the Olaf to respawn and potentially get back in. But with Silas already dying here, there's not really a big threat. Floops wants the 50-50 though. Let's see if they can get it, because Gnar has been smashing them against the wall. Nami following up with the Tsunami, and now let's see if they can get enough damage on the Sejuani before he hops back in to the Baron pit. Does not happen. So they will leave it uncontested here. Baron is secured by G2 Hell.
And we can start feeling the magic pen from this G2 Hell AD carry and the mid laner as well. If they don't have armor pen, this Olaf won't die in these team fights. Silas either, but now that that's Stu, they can't get bursted out. And Olaf is going to keep slowly getting worse, and getting worse. As he still hasn't completed that GA, as the gold has already swung back into G2 Hell's favor, as the top laner of Gnar completed his full build. Almost the same for the Cassiopeia, and of course a healing reduction as well from IKEA.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very big deal, because the healing reduction, especially against Olaf, oof, you don't want to be that Olaf right now.
Remember, Melio on top of that.
Yep, Melio as well. I mean, the shielding is definitely going to be a big factor, both Olaf's skill and Melio himself, of course. The thing is, it's pretty easy to burst through a shield by now, so it only really makes him survive for like half a second longer. It might just be the half a second that they need, though.
I wouldn't hate if CD just gave up this dragon, looked towards his top wave to get themselves a tower, at least a teleport out of someone. It's so hard to walk in here. They need to hit Asher or Sejuani onto someone important.
Yeah, Olaf is already picking a fight with the Gnar on the top side of the screen right now. He will be being taken down though, with the soul point being secured here by Floops on the 50-50. They will try to take him down, but if they manage to escape now, that's just everything to win for them.
And you just got to question, why are they going for this play? If they want to, you got to be the ones to engage. You got the Ashel, you got the Sejuani. Use it onto one key member and let Olaf run them down. If he even kills one, the rest of the team can take care of the other. But of course, not going that way, getting themselves soul point on the side of CD. Actually, Sejuani stole it. What?
Yep.
I did not see that. That's actually insane from them. Great job for them, and this makes a lot more sense from everything I said before. Hey, you get the soul point, you get yourselves out. You don't need to do more than that. So everything I said, my bad. CD, you were correct. Well done. Especially Floops.
Yep, good job winning the 50-50 there. Of course, I mean, you can call it luck, whatever they want. They forced the luck there, so they have all to win here. The thing is, like, with such a team fighting heavy team, and now with the Infernal Soul on top of that, Team CD is just looking unstoppable right now. The thing is, G2 Hell have been punishing every single mistake that Team CD has been making. So, like, if it comes down to macro play, it might be G2 Hell that is going to win it if they can get a team fight that they really want. So like a 3 versus 4, for example.
Now, the thing I'm questioning is, do they actually win the fight still, CD Hell? Because you still have the Cassiopeia, you still have the Way as well. They deal a lot of damage in these team fights. They play it correctly. Maybe they're the ones to win out.
Yeah, you can already see Ashe shredding them down, but look at the healing and shielding onto the Ashe, keeping them alive to fight another day. Now, Silas being in the stasis is going to escape all the bursts as well, and now it is Gnar against Olaf together with the Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia already fallen down. Olaf will just simply run them down as well, but the damage on G2 Hell is not very low. It's pretty high, so you still have to be worried about it. Silas picking up potentially the Skarner, but Skarner survives. It is Ashe being taken down, though, by the way. Gnar gets a kill on the Sejuani. All of them are low health, so I think Team CD can still fight this, unless you get bursted down. Never mind, Silas being taken down as well. There's 4 key members completely evaporate off the map. Only Melio is surviving. Melio is not going to be able to do anything. The thing is, like, G2 Hell can end the game.
Yeah, 30-second timers. This might just be it. And there were so many small facets to that team fight. For the way they were able to win it, the bubble at the end to get themselves the extra kill, to get themselves in the position to do this. Even the Gnar flashing in, finding the double kill, and still escaping. So only Nexus Tower's alive. They're trying to end.
Yeah, Melio's trying to get a little bit of damage on the minions, but the only thing that will happen is him being ended, and the game as well will be G2 Hell from at the brink of destruction, still bringing it back. They will be winning the game. So 1-0 up. They're looking pretty strong, but I will say that game could have gone anywhere because I personally thought Team CD was going to take it.
Yeah, it was super close between both of them. Remember, they had Soul Point on their side, but not able to win that last team fight. If we ever get a replay of that, there's so many small things I would love to talk about on it. But G2 Hell coming out the victory. Of course, best of 3 series. They need to win one more to get themselves another chance to stay here in Division 1, because whoever loses here today, they go down, of course, to Division 2, and no team wants that. No fan wants that, and no caster wants that either. We want both teams to win. We want everyone to win in esports.
True. But one has to be going down, of course. So I kind of want to go over that team and what went wrong for both of these teams, because I feel like the entire game every single time was in Team CD's hand up until they just threw it away for some reason. Because Team CD, I would say, had like the outdraft, and then the top lane again a little bit too cocky. It made G2 Hell coming back, right?
We can clear this very quickly. How many fights do you see where Olaf took a 5 to team?
Many.
Many? I saw like 2.
No.
But most of those fights was on his own. 1-for-1 early game, fantastic. He gets the extra bit of gold, becomes an even bigger monster. Late game though, not really what you want to see. If they were able to find the Ashe, or to be honest, if they just played a team fight together at the correct points, like a dragon, like near an objective, they would have won this game. So CD, if they want to win next, I love the comp. Keep going with that. Just make sure that you actually play as a team.
Yep, let's see if they are going to do that in game number 2. We'll be heading into a break first, but definitely stay here. Get some water, get some food. We'll be seeing you soon.
can see the shadows look like you. I gotta forget, find something new. There's no going back for you and I. Don't know what you want, I need to know. Don't pick up the phone when I try to call. Tell me what is wrong or what is right. What is right? 'Cause now it's too late, nah, nah, nah. Too late, nah, nah, nah. Too late, nah, nah, nah. Too late, nah, nah. Now it's too late, nah, nah, nah. Too late, nah, nah, nah. Too late, nah, nah, nah. Too late. I can see the shadows look like you. I gotta forget, find something new. Outside with it, nothing but a dream. 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 Hey yo, 6-0.
Lodestar Esports now coming over to this bear, and the volley bear seems to be first to be going in with the ultimate. Sejuani ultimate missing the backline completely. MF ult coming down, taking down only the volley bear with the Vi ult in the backline on the ADCs. The jungler's gonna go down. Be a triple kill for the way, maybe even going for a quadra.
Welcome back, everybody. It's game number 2 between G2 Hell and Team CD. The first game was already banger, but I'm expecting much more. I'm, of course, Nick V, together with Zeth Dose. How are you feeling after that game number 1?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. And do you know how excited I am? I stood up, man. You know, I'm standing with both of these teams as I want to go to game 3. So today, well, this game I'm standing with CD, and then next game, I don't care who wins. I just want to be BO3. I need to go all the way because both of these teams before this actually haven't won a best of 3 for at least 2 games before this. So it's exciting to see, you know, a team already who we expected to not win to win a game. So G2 Hell coming out with a very unique comp, especially with that Cassiopeia, something that I wasn't expecting to come out. So very exciting things.
Yeah, so when they were forced onto the way in the bot lane, you would kind of want an AP carry that does DPS in the middle, you know, AD carry, AP carry. Doesn't really matter as long as they can do consistent damage, make sure that after the burst they can still keep fighting. I think that's the most important thing, especially when they were playing into an Olaf who can just sustain every single thing. They have the shields to make sure that any burst would be mitigated by them, and just that way I think Cassiopeia was just an immaculate choice here for G2 Hell. The thing is, like, if we were looking at the game, the most mistakes were made by Team CD, but at the same time they were in the leads the entire game up until the very end, where they just made a big mistake and it cost them the game.
I couldn't agree with you more. If they played more together as a team, the Olaf didn't take as many fights on his own. 100%. We'll be seeing CD being the ones that are 1-0. So moving forward, I want to see the old Epic again. Absolutely loved it. And the way they played around it. It's just a little bit more cohesion, please, from this CD lineup. Of course, the rest of the team did a pretty good job. Ash, Emilio looked very comfortable towards the bot lane, able to fight against the biggest strength of G2 Hell, which is their bot lane. And in that last team fight, we saw so many times why they are known as the strong piece of them, as a classic bubble at the end, getting themselves a kill, finishing off the game. And even before that, being able to get themselves a double kill in the 2 versus 2. Plenty of things to talk about. And coming towards second game, I'm wondering if we're going to have a double AP team again, because I didn't like it that much. I think if they picked Galio into it, it could have been very difficult to try and play, as double AP needs those 3 items to get online, and they are very squishy early on.
Yeah, I think that the bans that Team CD was throwing out towards Kaltis was really effective. You could see that banning 5 AD carries, wipe them off the floor, means that she was like forced up onto the way. You could say that maybe they could have picked Ezreal, for example, because that was an AD carry that wasn't banned out. So there's still angles to go for it.
But they're not your favorite angles.
It's not your favorite angles for sure. So when I'm actually... Oh, go ahead.
Well, sorry. All I was going to say is when you think of this champion or this player, sorry, it's the hyper AD carries. You want to see the Jinx, you want to see the Aphelios, anything along those lines. And that's why we've seen so many bans, especially towards this Kog'Maw as well. Something that we have seen a lot from Kaltis, somebody who can carry the games. As I just want to see a proper ADC versus ADC bot lane, because I'm seeing too many Ziggs, I'm seeing Seraphines, even Swain's going down there again. Lux is the best AD carry in solo queue. Nick, I want to go back.
Look, I used to be a Lux main, so give me some Lux bot lane. The thing is, I just don't think it's going to happen to Immobile. Anyway.
But we can go on a whole tangent on that.
Yeah. The thing is, like, what I do want to see from, like, I thought there was an entire draft diff from Team CD onto G2 Hell. Like, I think Team CD just completely won that. What I want to see is that G2 Hell maybe just gets their AD carry early on, especially because I saw Ash being picked as the 4th on Team CD. I feel like that's just a high priority AD carry right now, especially with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow being such a great tool to start team fights. And waiting so long to pick that up, I think it gives quite a big of an angle for Team G2 Hell to pick that up and start their own team fights, get their own AD carry, get their AD scaling carry, really.
But the thing is, if you pick up the Ashe early on, you have to have something go later into the draft. Do you want to give up the Gnar top lane, the main for your top lane? Do you want to give up the Skarner, the most broken jungler in the meta? Do you want to give up the Cassiopeia? You said about how strong that is. Maybe because of how deep Kaltis pool is, because this isn't the first time it's happened to her, has it? Plenty of times she's been like, okay, they're got about 5 of my champions. What do I do? She may have questioned it beforehand, but she's had it happen so many times. She has these deeper pocket picks like the way you talked about. So maybe letting the enemy team banner fully out is completely fine. That doesn't mean I think the Ashe should not get taken away. Ashe is very strong. It has, of course, that Crystal Arrow, has the slows, but does it have the carry potential that we want to see? As in that last game, we saw that Static Shift build, Crystal Arrow trying to find leads through mid and top lane. Maybe you want to have a hyper carry like the Hui late game who can deal more damage.
Yeah, on the other side though, the Cassiopeia is also one of those hyper carries that we've been seeing in the last game, because that was a menace and a half. I think that Cassiopeia dealing the most damage, I think, in that game. I can't be sure about that because I don't know the stats, but I can tell you that being it.
No, I can agree.
Yeah, so Cassiopeia is just shredding through the entire enemy team. And I think most of that all went down to Cassiopeia getting so much free farm in the top lane that she could just scale into getting 3 items very quickly. And that way they could really just overtake the team fights for a little bit. So we will be heading into the pick and ban phase. We already see on the side of Team CD, on the blue side once again, there's AD carries being taken out, and I don't know if they're listening, but Ashe is banned.
Now, the reason that Ash has been banned away is on the blue side. There's two ways of trying to do this. One, you get a priority pick for yourself and let the enemy team get 2 priority picks, and then you could pick up another one afterwards, or just ban away all the priority picks. So Ash getting taken off the bat, Skarn again taken as well. High priority and a lot of champions. Maybe J4, maybe CD finally want to pick that up, but plenty of choices. Plenty of optimization, but one thing I can say about G2 and what you mentioned before is they are incredible side laners. Both the AD carry, the mid, and the top laner are actually up in CS, and maybe going for the scaling build is the way to go.
Yeah, speaking of one though, there's a Corki being picked, very strong early game and even scales better into the late game, combining AD with true damage, and that is a momentous pickup by Team CD here.
Very strong as well in the early game if it wants to go towards the AD carry. Halo Blades Corki played against it. Very painful to lane against. Now G2 Hell, what is their response? A lot of high priority picks. Of course, Skarner, one of them beforehand, taken away. But it's going to be that way locked in, the flexibility we talked about before. I still want Countess to play an AD carry, have something that can carry the game later on, or will they just decide to keep with simplicity? I think they need to most likely pick up jungler here. You have Sejuani you could take away from Team CD.
Yeah, Sejuani was a big pick for Team CD with Skarner being banned out. That is indeed a very great tank engager. The thing is, right, there's so many other picks that you can get, and Sejuani, as you've called out, has been locked in now. So what do you think the response for Team CD will be?
There is one possibility of maybe the Camille lock in here, something that we know the top laner of Team CD likes to play. The main reason is, yes, there's counteraction towards it, but a possibility of going against that Nara's Camille sounds fantastic. But instead, going to be the Viego, great burst damage with the Corki and Sejuani for the lockdown. If this is bot lane, that's an incredible bot lane 3 versus 3. The question is, can they get on top of the Fway as the Sejuani will probably be able to defend them?
Yeah, we've been seeing Sheena having immaculate pathing and positioning in the jungle. Like, she was always available when something was about to happen. We do see the Gnar being hovered right now. So we've been talking about the Camille, and we did see the ban in game number 1. So I would expect that if they lock Gnar in here and it is being picked, that Camille will be banned next.
I don't think it's even a question. Get Camille off, maybe the Fiora as well, if you don't want to have to deal with that split pushing threat. But how both these two team comps, it seems like G2 Hell have kept everything the same. Of course, Skarner being taken off, pair it up to Sejuani, go for late game, scale as much as possible, and use the flexibility of the way. While Team CD, I want to see a little bit more burst damage. Maybe a Syndra towards the mid lane could be a possibility to just give you a bit more. Even a Lissandra seems pretty nice here. Plenty of things to get off as the Rumble is going to get taken away. As the big reason for picking this Gnar as well is the lane prior it has, and Rumble, of course, would have got that into the Gnar.
Yeah, what I'm also looking for, because you've been saying quite a few mid-champ names, I would have to say. I think Orianna would pair really well together with Aurora as well, and then they can just burst down the entire enemy team together with the Viego, getting so many resets and just completely alt resets and just take them down. Silas being threatened to be banned away
they
as
leave
well.
the Camille open. That's the big question mark I have. They're so scared of this Silas from last game, who, remember, tore their base apart, got 2 inhibitors on top of that, and still leave the Camille open. So I expect it for Team CD to either pick that or another great counteraction towards this Gnar, as G2 Hell seem to say, okay, top, if we're not banning for you, we will win everywhere else. Alistar locked in, a great counteraction towards Rel, as it's a great disengage with the headbutt stopping the engage. So now, how is Viego going to find that reset? Rel is always going to have an answer into her to be that engage. So now you need either your mid laner or your top lane to help with that answer. Is the Camille the possibility? No, instead going to be that Gragas.
Yeah, Gragas very strong engager, and of course a disengager as well. So very good flexibility on Gragas. The thing is that last pick, I think that's going to be the make or break deal here. Who do you think, or who do you expect is going to be picked here?
Well, the big answer is Corki towards the AD carry or towards the mid lane. I think you want AP here minimum, but instead thinking of going for a double AD comp, fine with the Viego, can burst people after Tristana bomb, plus Viego on top of that. Gragas, good disengage, good ways of messing up these fights to maybe find Viego that reset. G2 Hell though, Hwei. I think Hwei's fine bot lane. Maybe bring that to Countess and give counter pick towards mid lane. So many different options in towards the Tristana side. A lot of teams would like to play is the Yone. Maybe the Syndra. Not the best in lane, but pretty strong towards this late game. Ezreal, another possibility. Very strong in lane. Scales particularly well. And this is a thing that was brought about in the LCK. They played Ezreal in towards Tristana as you can never get jumped on because you can just E away. You have the Q to clear the wave as much as possible. And now, G2 Hell, all they have to do is do a nice little front-to-back team fighting comp. Make sure that you don't let Rel find this engage with the Alistar. Make sure Gragas doesn't find a good cask onto either your Hwei or Ezreal. And you're in a very solid position to win this game.
Yeah, I'm really liking the team comp from both teams, to be honest, because one, you get some great engage. The thing is that it's not just engage. They got the core key as well. Just poke the entire enemy team out completely, just wither them down and then engage. But on the same side, G2 Hell, they can do the same thing. So it's gonna be a very interesting game, this one.
I'm going to be curious if there's going to be an AP Gragas. I think it has to be. They don't have enough
Almost
AP otherwise on the team against the Gnar. Gnar's very squishy when he isn't in his mega form. Possibility of maybe having a bomber in towards a solo kill up towards the top lane. So Team CD, if they find a reset onto Viego, they win the fight. They don't find a reset onto Viego, they don't.
I have a question for you. Do you maybe think this could be a Viego mid with Gragas going jungle AP?
I think we're cooking a bit too much there. Do you really want to play Viego in towards a Hwei or an Ezreal?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, no, I'm not even gonna. No, the answer's no to that. It's a Viego jungle for maybe no. Okay, not 80 carry. I'm joking. But yeah, very interesting draft before. We are going to be having quickly down below us. They're just spamming through this. Cool thing about this is, you know, when you're in champ select, you're like, oh, what do I pick? What do I ban? Imagine you knew everything. That's us right now.
Yeah. So what do you expect them to ban? Oh, never mind. The schedule is up.
80 carries by chance. I could have told you before this game. If I'm going against Countess, I'm banning ADC, then another ADC. Another ADC. I'm going to pick 2 ADC so they can't pick it, or 3, sorry, and then I'm going to ban away another 2. Maybe we're taking a full pool away.
That could be it, but in the end, she still got one in the Ezreal. I'm predicting it will be Ezreal. Oh, they're restarting it actually. So again, will we see the same bans? Yes, we will. Doesn't matter. All right. So looking at both team comps right now, who do you think has the biggest advantage?
Oh, from the bans here. I like the Caitlyn ban more. I'm going to give it over to Team CD. No,
I'm still running with the joke.
Nah, all jokes aside, I think G2 Hell is a little bit better. I'm not a big fan of full AD comps. You just build armor boots, you build a little bit more armor into it, and you can't do anything. And maybe the big thing they could have done is Malphite at the end. Just slam a Malphite against the double AD comp. Would have been completely fine. But of course, it's a lot easier for us to say when we see the draft at the end and not the way that it played out. But G2 Hell already with that first game lead. Now with the bare draft when we thought they lost the last one, maybe this is their big possibility to finally find a victory here in Swedish League Division 1 and keep their hopes alive to stay up here. As remember, there's a lot of pressure on this game. If CD loses here, they aren't just out of this split, they are out of Division 1 fully.
Yeah, and you don't want to drop divisions here. You want to make sure that you stay in the game, stay up on your level, because you could say that if you drop a division, you get to your own level. I would say it otherwise and say I don't get the practice that I want to go up more levels. I think that's the most important. Like, even because G2 Hell, they had I'm just going to say, they had a very bad split. They had many losses and only 1 win, I believe. But it does give them so much practice to get better and better and better. They want to stay here. And the same goes for Team CD. They got a little bit more wins, and now they have to show how they got them, why they got them, and why they won against G2 Hell in the last time. They won 2-0, by the way. But now, the roles are reversed. It's a 1-0 for G2 Hell. And if they win here, it's over for Team CD.
And confidence must be so high for G2 Hell already picking up this first victory. They haven't won in so long. like you mentioned before, so there's confidence coming through. Hopefully we get to see a clean and clinical game from them. Of course, wanted to scale towards the late game. Great poker out from the Hui and the Ezreal in these team fights. And the only chance I'm seeing for CD to win this is if they make the game messy. If they could get pushed towards the bot lane, get Rel towards mid, and play around this Corki, who is 100% towards this mid lane now. Viego and Corki, a little bit too much damage onto them. You can really start blowing people up because people don't really know that Corki is a burst champion now after the recent changes. He can blow you up from 100 to 0 easily in towards his mid lane.
Yeah, you remember the AP Corki that was roaming in the mid lane a while ago? Yeah, it's basically that. E1 rocket, you're gone. All right, the thing is, you were talking about creating chaos. I think Team CD has the perfect top laner for that in Gragas, but also in the player that we saw with Olaf as well. He just wants to go in, he wants to fight. I think he's going to take Gragas a little bit different, like a very different take, because he's not the top laner that just go into a fight, start hammering down on people. Gragas is more of like a combo reliant character, but he just wants to go for like the bomba and completely one-shot the enemy that's going to face them. At the same time, we did see Sha in the top lane with the Cassiopeia last game, really getting to scale, getting us 3 items. And I think if G2 Hell is going to try to get that same strategy going, then it is going to be Gragas to face the Hui in the top side and just completely one-shot them.
Yeah, no, 100% agree with you there. Gragas can never find that flanking towards the enemy. And I think that is the answer for G2, or sorry, for Team CD. Want to win the game, get messy like we said before, but get these flanks. Imagine a flank from the rail, again towards the backline. Sure, Alistar beeps that away, but on the opposite side, you see the Gragas bomber. Put either the Hui, the Ezreal in towards your backline, blow them up, find that reset, and now the enemy's big carry is now yours. Your Viego, you turn into anyone when you find that reset. So plenty to play for towards the early game. Viego as well clears a lot quicker than this Sejuani. Possibility to maybe just hard clear. Get towards this mid game, get your 2-item power spike before the Sejuani does, and then maybe you can make the plays early. Because I don't expect a kill to be coming out from Viego. It has to be solo laners finding these outplays. Can't be towards the bot side. Rel gets countered by the Alistar, of course, against G2 Hell's bot lane. Probably the best part of their team. So maybe top lane is the answer. If Gragas can find something on the R, on the Nars, a notorious counter, maybe that's the way they get their kills.
Yeah, the only thing we have to really question is if Gragas is going full AP or mostly tank and a little bit of AP. But the thing is that if that is the case, like if Gragas goes full AP, he doesn't really have the sustain to go into a longer team fight, because Rel on her own, we all know the memes. She dies so many times.
Yeah, it's very true. Rel does die a lot. If you got your pick'ems right, Rel was the champion to die the most of worlds. Personally, I picked Nautilus, and that champion has it's disappeared.
I did as well.
It's not even past my window at this point. That champion is off the face of the earth, because we do a lot of research on League of Legends. So we sit there being like, okay, so it's probably going to be a Rel, Nautilus, Leona. It's just turned to Leona or Rel. No, it's not here.
No, yeah, I would say Nautilus is a bit squishy in the early game, while Rel and Leona are very tanky in the early. We'll be seeing it though, because Alistar versus Rel, you said already, Alistar is a pretty much a counter, like a counter to Rel, as Alistar is able to have, he has 2 skills basically to just say nope to Rel, just knock them up or you knock them back. The thing is, right, with Rel being, if Gragas is going to build full AP, is going to be the only meat shield that is going to protect the Corki and the AD carry, the Stana, and you know, both have their jumps to get away as well. But once they've used it and they get a gauge upon, I think it would be going into the favor of G2 Hell. So I would personally suggest, or I would personally build more tanky with the Gragas, maybe a little bit of burn, but make sure your burst is at least strong enough to take down a squishy.
But you're never going to be tanky enough in compared to the enemy. You got the Sejuani, you got the Alistar that you talked about beforehand, and then you even have the pseudo tank of the Gnar towards the top lane. That's hard to get through compared to a Gragas. Sure, one great tank, but he's not 3, is he? Or 2.5 if you want to count Gnar as a half a tank. So maybe the AP build is the possibility. You just go in, you get your burst, you get yourself out to safety. Or you get the burst, won the team fight already. So you don't need to be tanky if you just kill them. That's the big meta over there in Brazil. It's like, why do I need to farm when I can kill you instead? And that should be the goal of this CD lineup. One game away from getting eliminated. Can CD bring it back here and get themselves to the savior line?
Yeah, or will G2 Hell get the 2-0 victory here and move on in this tournament bracket? We'll be seeing it very shortly as they're running out of base. And last time we did see that G2 Hell was just having a defensive position with the early ward in the bot lane from Nami, spotting out a potential invade in the bottom side. And now they're opting to see if they can get something through the top jungle side.
Yeah,
oh,
see
Rel
if they
already
can...
positioning. I like that. I like the positioning from Rel.
Oh, Rel's jumped over the top. Even though they were spotted out, big up to the support. I like this. This was actually what happened at the World Finals on the opposite side, where BLG was finding first blood onto Gumayushi, because when you jump over the wall in the champion like Rel, you wait for the W to come up, you find that CC, you get that first kill onto one of your members of the core queue, the Viego, they can start taking over the game. So big deal here. Hoarder will be spotted out this time and going to get cleared. So nothing too much early on, but Viego will be hard clean towards the top side, while, of course, Sejuani, I'm expecting to be all about this bottom mid lane. Make sure they're safe and maybe look for a gank towards this level 6.
Yeah, you do see that Viego is starting in the bot side. As you said, on the red, well, I mean, Sejuani does the same thing on the red as well. The question is, right, would you have started on topside jungle and then get the red buff to go for a gank at the bot lane? Or do you think this is like the correct choice from Team CD?
I think both the teams are fine with what's happening, especially Viego. You just want to full clear. There would have been maybe a small possibility knowing that Tristana and Drill get prio down towards the bot side. Just get them to hard clear 2 of these waves and actually invade towards the enemy, because you see Sejuani full camp clearing towards bot lane, clears very slowly. You can actually go for 2 camp clear in towards enemy jungle, steal away that blue buff and look for a gank bot lane before they ever see. Then you made your big goal, you found an early gank on Viego, get your bot lane a bigger lead, and you could just reset, go towards your top side if needed, or you could just keep bullying out the Sejuani. Plenty of ideas there, but instead it's just going to be a full clear from both of these teams, as this mid lane, pretty simple, going to be pushed from Hwei.
Yeah, and Hwei will have the upfront burst early on, of course. The thing is, Hwei eventually will expend a lot of mana. Of course, there is a skill that can get him a little bit of mana more back with the auto attacks, but you really have to expend that first before Corki gets online, because once his Q is leveled up a little bit more, the poke is definitely going to be on his side.
It's actually a really hard matchup for this Corki, because you want to try and go in with the Valkyrie, deal your damage, and then get yourself out to safety.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've been talking about. Alistar just making sure that Ezreal can't get engaged upon freely. You can see him just trading back as well. So very well done by Colom here.
Yeah, there's actually a small possibility of an outplay towards the bot lane for CD. If Rel ever tries to engage in either the Alistars, wait minutes.
Oh,
you just can't do that.
Going down already, and this is the potion being popped there means that the auto attacks are not enough to take down the Corki yet, and they've been trading quite a bit. So there's not really like a healthy for both of them. Oh, trying to snipe again, and only one more snipe from Shaw will be taking him down here, so he has to be recalling.
Yeah, forcing an early TP out, you just can't do anything on Corki. If you try and Valkyrie in, you just get feared and you get bursted out for that. You just don't have the damage you expect with that Conqueror. If it was Hail of Blade, sure, go for that outplay. So mid lane not going the way of CD. At least their bot lane is with the Rel and Tristana. What I want to talk about was Alistar can peep away one member, right? Can stop Rel from engaging. But that means that Tristana is able to find a jump in by herself and find an engage. So maybe before level 6, they set up the wave correctly, get Rel to go for the engage, but maybe that's just a bait for Tristana to jump in afterwards to try to burst out the Alistar.
Well, we do see a push in the bot lane. Tristana went back and got herself a call. So it means that Tristana now with 2 potions, as opposed to Ezreal only having 1 left, it means that Tristana can really just stay in lane for so much longer, get more gold. But Floops being engaged upon by the Sejuani together with the Gnar. It's Mega Gnar as well. So there's perma slow onto the Viego. Viego not having the flash gets first blooded, and it will be Lysia picking that one up.
And it was just too greedy from him, thinking that Sejuani was going to be a little slower on the clear. Thought he could steal away the Krugs, find the reset, and do the clear himself. But even with smiting away, Sejuani very happy with that happening. Top lane Gnar going to be able to get that kill already as the Cole to get a lead towards the top side. And on top of that, has stopped the clear from this Viego, now going to be 30 seconds behind. And Sejuani yet again going to just invade the enemy jungle to make sure to keep this Viego down. And you can see that in the gold lead.
Yeah, as we see the gold lead here, it is massively in favor of the top lane right now. Of course, it's only 300 gold, but Lycia does have an angle now to just go and go and go, because Gragas being countered by the Gnar. Gnar can just keep poking that, and we saw Sejuani getting a little bit of a camp steal. I like that, getting a bit of XP away. Level 5 now against a level 4 Viego, so really has the pressure, is ahead in jungle experience. It at the same time means she will get level 6 way before Viego gets that. So it gives G2 Hell a bit more options to gank early.
It's actually just good knowledge from the jungler, Sunny Spot, knowing that Viego's going to try and full clear it, steal away as much as you can, as you might be slowing down your clear, but you are a low economy jungler. You don't care about how fast your clear is. You just want to make sure that the Viego stays down when he's behind. So Prio from the mid lane, of course, where you're always going to be able to pick that up. They could just walk in, get themselves a Skull Crab, and can start up the Void Grubs if they want to, but Rel and Alistar moving down, it seemed like neither of these teams want to give it.
Yeah, it does seem that they want to fight for it. Team CD is in the brush. They will be going for the engage. The flash Q into the W from Rel, getting 2 stuns. And that means Sejuani is being taken down by the Tristana. And now they want more ultimate from Gragas. Make sure the Gnar is taken down as well. And that went from good to bad real quick for G2.
You just don't expect that from Rel. 2 members, both having flash available. They could have tried to escape it, but a great engagement of Rel, double stun afterwards, gets themselves the Void Grubs, and most importantly, the only thing they lose from this is a little bit towards the bot lane, so they are going to lose out on 2 things. So just look at this. That's as beautiful as you can get as a support. If I do that, I'm crying at that point. So with the reset coming through, get themselves a kill, also gets a flash off the top laner there. We'll have to see if that flash is going to matter later, as of course Bomber back, going to get themselves to kill.
Yep. Bjorn really popping off here on the Rel. The thing is, we need to see that more often, because that angle was great. Expanding the flash into a fantastic double stun. At the same time, they did get the Void Grubs. Ezreal got a few plates, so that's a lot of gold on his side. Will snipe another plate as Alistar being taken down by the ganking Viego and Gragas, really. But again, that's 2 plates for Ezreal.
It just they just try and cheat tempo. There's no reason to stay that long. They thought, okay, let's get 1 tower plate and get ourselves out to safety. But Alistar had no boots available at that point. Is just going to get Chunk Tower's top lane.
Yeah, is engaged upon by the Tristana. Tries to kill Gnar before the engage from Sheena is happening underneath the tower. But no kill. Even though there was a lockdown from the Glacial Prison from Sejuani, nothing gained, really.
It's the big thing. The blue had that barrier available. If that barrier was down, he is just dead under that tower, but not expecting it. The extra bit of healing means that G2 Hell has to escape without getting more than these Void Grubs. And more importantly, on top of that, because they made a play towards the top side, they don't have any pressure towards bot lane. So first Dragon going over to the side of CD.
Yeah, Gragas picking up a plate for himself here as well. So again, the gold swinging back and forth first for G2 Hell, and now in the favor of Team CD once again. So early on, we saw this in game number 1 as well. Team CD getting an early lead, and we're seeing it here now.
CD 2 games in a row have opted to go for a lane swap. First game, of course, made sense, was able to get more gold into their pocket, but now Tristana now towards the top side. Rel nowhere to be seen just yet. I would like it if they try to force getting as many Void Grubs as possible. Already got 3. Tristana, a top laner, incredible at trying to take these outer towers. Maybe that's their big thing. Try and get the AD carry as far ahead as possible, so then Tristana could burst someone to get the reset for the Viego.
All right, let's see in what way he's going to do it, because I do see her pathing towards the bottom side. Gragas saw the ward being placed, so I think that they know something is about to happen in the bot side. We see Hwei returning back in the mid lane. At the same time, it is Holmberg on the Tristana here, getting free gold. Ezreal at the same time, teleport being used as the minions are being cleared up. So we potentially will be seeing a fight here. Sobak going in on the Sejuani, but that is a tanky team member that you don't want to go into. Alistar completely tanking up the tower. Is someone going to take down the Gragas? Yes, in the end it will be gifted to the Ezreal, and let's hope they get the first tower as well for G2 Hell. Maybe Tristana will get it, so it's a little bit of a race here.
Didn't you see how there was a double TP towards the bot lane? I was going to say it was a little bit too late, but he tried to get himself out to safety. But Corki, yeah, I mean, it was just fantastic shot. Going in, finding the fear to stop that TP is the only reason that worked out from the side of CD. So now this gold lead, yes, not in their favor, but a great little play gives G2 a little bit more gold into their pocket.
Oh, good spot. I didn't even see that. All right, so Corki, no TP. Gragas, no TP, and it didn't work out for them. So first tower being taken down in favor of G2 Hell. So that gives them a little bit more of an opening to force their to put their bot lane in the mid, so they get a lot of prio in the mid lane. But the flash engage once again with Rel is going to be smoking his shot here, but they still get out with the help of the Alistar, and now they're chasing them down. Gnar goes in, is interrupted in mid-hop, but doesn't really matter here. They will bring down the damage, and they will simply be safe. There's Viego to worry about as well. And again, we will be seeing a fight here at the Void Grubs.
Yeah, might be able to steal one away, but Sejuani has scoured this pit pretty soon. No prio in mid. Your top laner is dead as well.
Yeah, it's a 3 versus 2, but Gnar is back in the business. There's no TP for Hwei though, so it's only going to be a 4 versus 4 by now, because the AD carries have joined up because they were simply in the mid lane. But now they are going to poke down this Viego. What are you doing? You don't want to mess with this Ezreal yet. And look at the damage. Let's see if Alistar can chase him down far enough to get a kill, but they won't. At the same time though, they will be able to get some damage on the mid tower. No, they didn't have the minions, but the action keeps going. Great buffer jump here to avoid death.
Yeah, but how long? Sejuani Lumin has the ultimate available, just needs to try and stop this for as long as possible. Gonna have to go pretty soon.
Yeah, I think there is an opening here for Tristana to just walk bottom, especially with the Rel. Going for the gank here on the Sejuani, breaking the shield underneath the turret is some extra damage, and now Sheena is going to be taken down. It's not Tristana getting the gold though, it will be the Rel.
And Rel just reading the game like a book. Bjorn, everywhere he needs to be, finding the 2-man ultimate, and then saving Blue from this, and maybe even finding more on this Gnar.
Yeah, getting the stuns, waiting out the hop. Oh, the Bomba is here from Gragas. Great snipe. They want to gift it to the Gragas here. Oh, actually, it's Rel being taken down, just tanking one turret shots too many.
The minions actually killed him at the end there, otherwise he would have got himself out to safety. Tristana, no mana from that last fight, doesn't have the Q, doesn't have the W to save it. Ultimate coming through to try and find the kill here. How close can you get? Almost pixel perfect of a dodge as Gragas towards the top lane. Going to be able to pick up that tower and get himself out to safety. The CD losing out on the fights, but more importantly, getting themselves these outer structures, as earlier on, Gragas already got that bot lane tower.
Yeah, we do see Viego hovering in the red side jungle on their own side. The thing is, there are so many wards in his jungle right now, he can't really path unseen towards the mid lane. So it means that Kaltis knows exactly that Viego is pathing in the bot side. The thing is, with Drake spawning just now, we also see Lysia hovering around the area.
Yeah, keep pushing further forward as possible, as G2 will be giving over this Void Grub to CD. No contestation inside. They just don't have any vision, no way of trying to do this. But can they get anything on the opposite side? Rift Herald is a possibility if they want it, but instead they're just going to be clearing as it's already taken. As when you go for a double AD comp, these objectives just absolutely shred.
Yep. Oh, so will we see a Infernal Soul once again? That's crazy.
Yeah, it does seem like Inferno So is going to be it. Bomber towards the top lane to try and clear this wave as much as possible. But does he have enough to finish off the wave? Yes, he does. But still, going to be able to get themselves to Rift out here.
Yeah, so Team CD having 3 Void Grubbers. But that really is the end of it because G2 Hell got it as well. So both teams will be in a neutral state if you regard it as tower pushing. But with the Rift Herald being claimed by G2 Hell here, they'll simply have an advantage. The thing is, we saw that in the last game, Team CD wasn't really able to get a great push on it. This is a great push, by the way. They don't need the Rift Heralds.
Yeah, they really don't need it. Rift Herald plays towards the mid lane. Going to be able to pick up a tower, most likely going to get 2 hits off this. But CD, more gold into their pocket, finally built up a little bit of a lead. Only 2,000 for now, but can keep going as this Corki and Tristana finish their first item. Same with Floop. 3.5 minutes till that next dragon. I think the big goal is try and do that, as we are going to be looking top lane to see how that kill worked out.
All right,
it's the play bot lane.
Instead, it was the Magnet Storm locking down a Nard, pulling them back. Floop is getting everything there.
More importantly, Bjorn is just taking over the map. Every single play we've seen go right for this CD lineup has been because of this support. The double man ultimate keeps coming back to my mind. First, able to get a couple kills on them, killed towards the top side twice, and then now on top of it, if Bjorn is able to find a major flash in the next 3 minutes before this dragon fight, maybe that's the answer to unlocking this game and getting CD this victory.
Yeah, but he may be having to use that flash defensively because we do see G2 Hell is roaming around Bjorn right now, but Floop's already nearby. So they will be safe for now. They will be clearing some vision as well. But at the same time, we do see that Sheena was looking for a kill brush. They will be looking for the Rel here being pushed away mid-jump, but it's still a 4 versus 3. What can Ezreal do? Can you rain down the damage? No, Gragas instantly going for the casket and running them back for the Bomba. And oh, there is Rel with the flash engage. Magnet Storm doing so much here, but it might be not enough. Gragas gets a kill on the Alistar. Sejuani had one on Rel, and that is a flash for a 1-for-1 basically.
Yeah, but they're dealing all the damage onto the tanky members. Ezreal not having enough on him.
Yeah, Tristana going for the reset here, and yep, there we go, getting a kill on the Ezreal. So Viego gets a little bit of a reset. They will probably get the mid tower here as well. Sejuani is trying to clear a little bit, but this is not what you want to do against 2 very strong members of Team CD. Just gifting them another kill, and they take down the mid tower anyway.
Yeah, forcing way to find the reset to fend his mid lane tower. Now might be able to find Syka's mid lane.
Yeah, there's
Astonish
only
overstepped.
action today. Tristana hovering a little bit too long there. Alistar getting a great engage column. That you played that perfectly.
And you can see how the CD comp works. They want to try and get this Viego a lead by finding the first reset. So we get to see a replay of that fight. It's so difficult to see how this play goes as they want to try and kill this Ezreal. And of course, first play comes to Ezreal doesn't have to jump out to safety, or I mean, he does apparently, but Tristana still being able to find that reset, and crucially for Viego. And then after this, Sejuani, you just give this tower. There's no ever reason to contest this. So slightly overstaying has to go back in to deal some damage. So with that double kill going over and that mid lane tower, do they have enough damage to try and burst them through again on something like the Alistar? We will have to see it. Of course, slight overstep from the Sejuani. Save the Tristana, gets themselves the double kill.
It's, I guess that's just a part of the fair play clause, right?
I kill one, you kill one.
Exactly. Like, oh, you overstep? Okay, let me do that as well, just to make it.
Yeah, go make it even. Give us a close game.
Alright, so there's a little bit of a war of vision going on as the Drake is about to spawn. Of course, Baron is a factor as well. Oh, actually walking back into the Rel knockup and the Magnet Storm being used, but to no avail. Gnar is joining the fight as well. Ezreal taking down the Rel, but Alistar is going to tank up a little bit too much. Now Corki gets to burst down the Sejuani at the same time, and this is a completely casket diff. Gragas being able to split the enemy team apart so much that they can simply get an extra pick here.
Yeah, really disjointed fight for G2 Hell. They need to have either the Alistar tank, the Sejuani, and then be able to get themselves out to safety. If they can't get their cask out before these team fights, it's just going to keep happening again and again and again. Azrael's able to rewatch, as we will have a replay of that fight yet again. Dragon, of course, going over to CD from this victory. But I keep telling you, Rel is the one who's solo winning these fights, finding the engage onto Chasor. You think that this is it, but the TP on the sideline from the Gragas, stunning them out. Crucially, finding this cast to find the reset onto Viego, finding the stun again on towards the Sejuani to get the kill. 3 members may be alive for G2, but without those tanks, not going to be able to do much more in these team fights.
Yeah, and this might be the AP Gragas that you've been talking about, of course. He did get the tier follow-up item that just gives you a lot of HP as well. Yes, exactly. So it means that even though Gragas wants to build AP together with the Cosmic Drive, I believe, gets much HP as well at the same time. So he's pretty much building both of what we've been saying.
Well, what did I say? I wanted a bit of damage, and you can see why. Find the reset for Viego. Sure, it hasn't done too much in the fights just yet, but the longer the game goes, the stronger the members get. If you can turn into a way, you can turn in towards an edge, you can really start to take over as them. As this Rel has no fear. We're just walking towards the enemy jungle, knowing that Viego is nearby. Dragon still available for both of these teams. CD can absolutely tear it apart once they get towards this position, but they need a reset before it.
Yeah, Viego was looking for the engage together with the Gragas, but saw that there was backup from Sheena here and the bot lane, so we'll be chasing them away and get a little bit of more prio in the top jungle side. Again, though, I want to stress this brush ward has never been cleared by G2 Hell, so it's paying dividends so much.
Yeah, trying to gain as much vision as possible on towards this team. And the main reason they ran in towards the enemy jungle is saying, okay, we know you can't fight us just yet. Let's gain full vision. Maybe let's be the ones to start it up. Force your hand. Do you see towards the bot lane already? Corki's down there trying to get as much gold as possible. I don't hate it if G2 Hell just start it up here.
Yeah, we do say that Huey has joined Corki in the bot lane, so we'll be trying to push that back. At the same time, they're both TPs are up. And there's only red wards in the top side of the jungle, so can't really contest. Sejuani is looking for a flank here. Tristana, you do have to jump, but you are in a bit of danger because they can chase you down anyway. Corki is joining them though, so we'll be seeing a fight here. Rel stepping forward? No? They're going for Sejuani. Yeah, Sejuani has been found. Rel has to get the hell out. And that is exactly what Bjorn will do. And now being on the bot side jungle, like near the Baron, it means that they can clear some wards. So.
Yeah, yet again, forcing them outside of the jungle. CD trying to gain vision to let Corki keep pushing out this bot wave. That's the thing that's going to open up this game. If CD can force a TP out maybe from Shard to join the fight and then go for this bot lane play, you could be able to break open the inhibitor and then the game could be over from there. That's why there is so much control around this vision. Both teams know if they leave it alone for a little bit too long, this is going to go out. And the main reason as well you might see these teams being a little bit more hesitant on making these plays is if CD lose here, they are fully out of Division 1. And G2 Hell, with a commanding position in this game, with the Gnar being a great side laner, they don't want to just give it up like that.
Well, with Ezreal having the Triforce and Manamune builds completely, there's a bit of a power spike, so I don't think Team CD should be looking for any team fights as of yet, unless they can get some great ganks going. They will be getting a little bit of vision on the Baron now, so it is simply going to be waiting for the next objectives.
Yeah, next objective, 1 minute 13 is sell point for CD. They have no reason to try and push the pace of the game. Wait for this objective, gain the proper vision around it, and get yourselves through the victory. Because these fights have been so close, but with that extra Infernal Soul, the burst damage might just be too much. They might be able to burst out the Alistar without the ultimate, even the Sejuani at this point, and then finding the reset from the Viego. On the opposite side, of course, Gnar, seeing what he can do on this side lane. Not really going to be able to ever kill this Gragas anymore after that Seeker's Arm Guard being finished.
Yeah, Tristana is poking quite a bit onto the Sejuani. Sejuani stepping a bit forward to get all of that, but Sustain, of course, will be bringing her back to health pretty soon, so they will be getting some vision around the dragon who is going to respawn in 25 seconds. So I think a team fight is about to happen. Gnar trying to look for the flank, but was spotted barely. They will be getting the slow on Tristana, so being forced to jump away, and now is the time to go for the engage. Look at the knock-up as well. Rel completely disjointed out of this team fight. They are trying to poke a little bit more. Ezreal stepping a bit forward, so Viego potentially could go for a stun, but opts to not go for that. And G2 Hell right now is in position to get that Drake, but at the same time, Corki. Oh, never mind, Corki. Let's go into this team fight. Tristana taking down Alistar very quickly. Not that tanky anymore, huh? As Sejuani is being taken down by the Tristana as well. Now just opting to go for all the damage on the Gnar, flashing against the Mega Gnar ultimate as well. And that's Holmberg just popping off right now.
And the damage just isn't there from G2 Hell. They expended everything to try and get Bjorn in the mid lane to die, but it was too little, too late. So Baron going over to CD, and we could see the replay again of how everything went so wrong. Because they used everything, teleport comes in, actually gets stopped by the mid laner, but it's just too little, too late. Ezreal doesn't have the damage. Wei doesn't have the damage as he's not in the fights. They just get to walk through after that reset. Finds the kill on towards the AD carry. Gnar dies shortly afterwards, and with this Baron in hand, CD have themselves full control.
Yeah, they will simply go for a reset here, and with the bot lane already opened up, I do believe one should start walking there to just pressure it. Go for that 1-3-1 that you have been talking about pre-set, because that's exactly what Team CD really wants to do. Run the 1-3-1, get pressure on all lanes, and make sure that G2 Hell has to rotate between all three lanes.
Super difficult to try and make this work for them. The wave clear isn't the best for G2. They have Ezreal, sure, can try and poke out a little bit, but it's nothing like having a hyper carry on your team. You don't have a Jinx with rockets to try and clear this. Why? With all the magic consist on these cannon minions, or with these Baron minions, super difficult to try and finish this off. So G2 Hell might have to find an early engagement towards the enemy. Otherwise, I think their base is just going to get exploded.
Yeah, Alistar going for a hashtag flash, trying to find something on the Corki, but was spotted out by the enemy team, and now they're actually, with the minions going to the top side, they will be sieging the top tower. And you already saw that Bjorn, if they want to engage, he was there out of vision to counteract that.
Really big play there. Top lane tower going to get taken out. They're just going to pivot towards the mid lane, trying to gain as much vision as possible. My big concern is how much does G2 Hell want to give up before they are going to be the ones to engage? Because every time it feels like Rel's the one who is looking further forward. Mid lane tower already goes down to Tristana, and you can start seeing this gold lead starting to balloon almost at 10,000 now.
Yeah, I do think that if they only get these two towers, then it's still fine, because the base is not further broken up yet. The thing is that Corki right now, because earlier he did push out the entire bottom tower down, it means that it's open now for an engagement. You have to stop him, but at the same time, now they're sieging the mid lane. That goes down very fast. We did see the engage, but it was completely nullified by the Tristana jump as well. Gragas looking for a great explosive cast, but in the end is the wall that stops them from going into their deaths.
Yeah, get themselves one in here, looking for the second, and G2 just can't engage. Sejuani's the only possibility to get towards the backline. No flash available for this Alistar.
We did see a little bit of an engage, and now you can see why a tanky Gragas is so great for that team, because he can just simply contest every single thing that G2 Hell is going to throw at him. And did you just see the true damage on the rocket?
Yeah, no, that seems not fun to play against at all. No, thank you.
That was 25% gone. That was 25% gone on a Gnar.
Exactly. Gnar's meant to be pretty tanky. 2.5 items to the name, sure. Only has the armor boots against it, but that champion's scary. You don't let him get to late game. Already has 3 items. Armor pen makes sense why it does deal that much damage. But we started to see the issue with the G2 Hell comp. They just don't have the damage. They're great at tanking, But if you don't have a way to try and burst out the Viego, how are you meant to be winning the fights? He has the Steric Gauge, has the Sundered Sky to help out with the healing, can also build the GA if he wants to be able to survive. So now I've only one tower left. They have to look for an engage here, G2.
Yeah, the question is, will they engage here? They do get a little bit of chip damage, not just a little bit, they get all the damage down onto Tristana, exploding because of the Spiraling Despair, and now Gragas being popped as well. It is 2 kills for G2 Hell here, and they are bringing it back just a little bit.
Yeah, again, themselves that kill, and it's all towards their mid laner, Shard. There's a reason why they pick Quay so much. It's because it can do that. The amount of damage they have, as we get to see again what this Way was able to do. Gets to use the Q, ultimate on top of that. You can't jump away from that, buddy. First kill goes over, second one as well.
Was beautiful.
Exactly, and most importantly, the reprieve they have. They can finally clear these waves, being able to breathe a little bit more. Still 2.5 minutes till those inhibitors are back down. There's a lot to fight for, but they're still not out of it yet, G2.
Yeah, as we're looking on the objective timers once again, we do see that the Elder Dragon is spawning within a minute. So it does mean, I completely didn't see this, by the way. The Dragon Soul has been taken by Team CD, so that's why they're so much stronger than they would initially appear to be. Baron, at the same time, is going to spawn only like 15 seconds later. So we could either see a trade, but probably a team fight, because Tristana's already looking for something.
Yeah, seeing if they can find anything else on this map. Soul Point, of course, over towards CD. Elder, I think, is going to be the final fight of the game. Whoever wins here should be able to finish it off. There might be a chance for G2 Hell not to finish off after this, but you can tell both of these teams are looking for it, seeing if Alistar can find a flank towards the enemy. Is he going for a reset now? I don't think so. You want to try and get in towards the backline, blow up Floops, and then play a front to back afterwards.
Oh, and here we go. We do see a double stun up on the Sejuani, but they didn't have the damage to go through a straight through Sheena yet, because she's very tanky as of now. But we, at the same time, Ezreal's not that tanky. Look at the damage he already took as he sustained through all this upfront damage. And Column trying to save this team fight, but she will go down here early on. And oh my, the Rel engaged together with the Magnus Storm is going to lock up the entire team. And what do we see here? A burst Quadra coming out from Holberg.
Yeah, him doing a fantastic job in this game. Bjorn single-handedly in that last team fight, I have to say, won it for them. 4-man Rel ultimate. No way G2 Hell is leaving that open next game.
Yeah, and they will be taking a game back. It will be a 1-1. We have a set. We saw both teams losing 0-2, and we finally have a 1-1 on our hands. So as that goes, Mike is bugging out once again, I believe. Trying to mime talk. I'm not sure if you can all lip read, but we will be heading to a break to give Zados a little bit more time to fix his mic, but also, of course, to give the players a little bit of time to think about their upcoming draft, because it's a best of 3. Essentially, now it's a best of 1. Whoever's going to win this stays in the running to stay in the Division 1 of SOL. Whoever loses is dropping down. So stay tuned. Game 3 is going to be a banger.
Lowstar Esports now coming over to this bear, and the Volibear seems to be first to be going in with the ultimate. Sejuani ultimate missing the backline completely. MF ult coming down, taking down only the Volibear with the Vi ult in the backline on the ADCs. The jungler's gonna go down. Be a triple kill for the way, maybe even going for a quadra.
Welcome back. It is game number 3 time between G2 Hell and Team CD. Now, it is a 1 versus, like both teams got 1 win. and it's all for grabs in this final game between these two amazing teams already. Zathos, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. We could just class this as a BO1. The last 2 games don't matter anymore. Whoever wins here gets the whole game and the whole series. Because whoever loses, most importantly, isn't in Division 1 anymore. They go down to Division 2. It's a very important game. And I still am scared of CD's support. He had a pop-off performance last game.
Yeah, Bjorn with some incredible rel engages the entire time, just completely shutting down G2 Hell's team. So this is instantly just going into the pick and bans, right? Do you think Rel is even gonna make it to the pick phase?
I don't think so. You have Alistar to counter it, and he still does that. Imagine they ban Alistar, then get Rel. I mean, you have to ban Poppy as well, but just imagine that. None of those 2 champions, Rel. Wow. I want to be there for that game. But before we get a little bit too deep in towards how CD are going to be playing with their support, G2 Hell, difficult loss there. I'm trying to think of the major things that I saw not going their way, and it has to be that damage side. They need to have a little bit more in their next comp.
Yeah, because yes, Ezreal does a lot of damage, but it's mostly sustained damage, and there's like no real shredding. So if you put a tank in front of him, he's just gonna feel like a wet sponge, really. So we really need some more penetration, like armor penetration. We did see a little bit of that on the Gnar, but Ezreal does a little bit of AP damage as well. It's like it's a mixed character, so Black Cleaver doesn't help as much as on any other AD carry. And the thing is, we did see a lot of AD carries being banned out in game number 1 and 2. So I'm expecting that to happen in game number 3 as well.
And the thing we have to question, is this Viego going to be getting through anyway? Because it didn't do too much in the game, sure, but just its threat alone gave so much space for CD to play the team fights, to find that reset afterwards. And once that reset came through, the team fights were already over. But if they were slightly closer, it would have been catastrophic. So maybe Viego needs to get banned, maybe that Rel. But what bans are they going to be leaving open? Because if they ban away those 2 champions, there's a lot of high priority picks that we haven't seen come out just yet that could definitely be that, like the Skarner.
Yeah, we did see that Kog'Maw was, for example, a ban from G2's side twice in a row. Really don't want the enemy to first pick that, because that's a very flexible mid to AD carry as well. Can AD carry and AP carry. But the thing is, I'm expecting G2 Hell to pick blue side this time, because they've been on red side twice and they won one and lost one. So the pick and ban, like the bans might be switched up now, because Skarner was banned by Team CD, and I think that is going to stay. As you can see it on the screen right now, Caitlyn Ashe and Skarner being taken away, as well as Lilia, Kog'Maw again, and Embosa.
I'm seeing a Bessa band. I thought that was just, completely busted as a champion. I don't think we could even play it. Thank you, G2 Hell, for showing me that it is available, and it is absolutely broken. And we're seeing a change, an adaptation from G2. They get themselves Corki, something that's been very strong early. Of course, late game with that big rocket that we saw take 25% HP from their Gnar. And more importantly, Gnar's available when they opted towards Rumble.
Yeah, putting some AP damage in the top side means that they can potentially run this Corki in the mid lane. So keeping that flex open, because if they didn't pick an AP in the top side, it will make it a little bit less flexible. So I really like this pick from the Rumble in the top lane. At the same time, we do see a Rek'Sai ban.
Rek'Sai, something that we do know G2 Hell's jungler does play here and there, not their highest priority, but once you get rid of the Sejuani, once you get rid of the jungler as well. What's the one that's busted? Skarner, there we go. Little pincer dude. He gets taken off the bat. You go a little bit deeper, and that's when the Rek'Sai starts coming out for the G2 Hell lineup. The one champion I will be thinking about is Misfortune available for G2 Hell? Yes. Do they want to pick it up? You got the Wombo combo with the Rumble ultimate, Leona on top, and that MF ultimate. And maybe an Amumu in the jungle, but then a U2 AP heavy. It's very clear that G2 do want a team fight, though.
Yeah, I think the Misfortune angle, of course, she has in her passive, she has a lot of mobility, but once you take that down, once she takes a little bit of damage, it's not a mobile character anymore. And the upfront damage, like with the ultimate, is great, but after that, it's kind of iffy. So the question really is, with more jungle bans now, it leaves open a lot more options for Kaltis at the same time.
Yeah, plenty of different opportunities. Justana going to be locked in, flexible towards the mid and AD carry position. Still Kennen counteraction towards the Rumble. So these solo laners from Team CD are very strong in their own right. Justana versus Corky, very comfortable. GDH, I think, is AD carry here. What do you want to pick? Enemy team clearly wants to go in. Xayah could be a counteraction. Not as good in these team fights if you want to try and find that wombo combo. Plenty to think about. And G2 Hell are going to be locking in that Xayah.
Yeah, I do want to look at the support that Team CD has. It's Rel again, so
I'm scared.
maybe Bjorn can pop off once again, and at the same time, it's only Leona this time, so can't really counter Rel anymore. They can only hop into Rel and really lock her down after, hopefully, for G2 Hell, they make a mistake. But that's the thing, right? It's only an if situation. And Bjorn,
that's a Kha'Zix lock-in.
Faultless. Yeah, Kha'Zix. I like that.
That is so interesting. We'll hold up and talk about Team CD's last pick, 'cause there might be something as well there. But I love this Kha'Zix. What it does is it can burst out the Viego if it wants to, can find some pickoffs with the Leona and with this Rumble ultimate. Because remember in that last game, we saw Viego trying to hard invade the Sejuani. It didn't go the way they wanted. Viego wasn't good enough in finding those invades. But now, with that Kha'Zix, you're able to jump in towards the backline, clear a few of these camps, and most importantly, you have damage now on this G2 Hell lineup. Now I can't say they're all tanks. How are they going to be doing it? And it feels like G2 Hell have said to themselves, I am going to carry this game. Every single player has a champion that can take this over. Of course, Team CD, a little bit more simple. Got the Rel engaged. Of course, Kennen trying to find a flank on those sidelines. And this Swain lock-in. I believe this Swain... Is it... Where is it?
Mid.
Where is Swain?
Probably
Swain's mid. Probably mid. I was getting so confused. I'm so used to Justana being mid lane, and I was like, wait, so where's Kennen? And I'm like, Swain? I don't know. But yeah, Swain towards the mid lane, completely fine in towards the Corky. I'm going to be interested how this Swain is going to be changed, because remember, the ultimate heals less, but deals more damage with that ultimate. So when the fights last longer, he feels very comfortable. My problem is, are these fights ever going to last long? G2 Hell doing a fantastic job of just having a lot of damage, so if they have a starter fight, it's going to end really quickly.
Yeah, a very big upfront burst with the Corky and the Kha'Zix, so that's the question if Swain is even going to survive that. And they have a lot of options to build anti-healing at the same time. On the Rumble, for example, with the burn coming in and just keeping that passive of the Merlonomicon. Is it Merlonomicon?
Yeah,
does he build that?
Merlonomicon.
Yes, he does. He keeps that up for so long that Swain, with the ultimate, Rumble's ultimate, plays well enough. Swain will not do anything there in a team fight. The thing is, though, Swain's ultimate uptime is longer now, though. So that's probably going to be a factor as well.
Yeah, because if you stay in his ultimate, of course, it lasts forever. So get yourself out there. Of course, it's going to be very difficult when you do have a Rumble and the Leona who like to stay in the fight for as long as possible, firing away all of their abilities. But once we, step back a little bit, look at both of these team comps. I love both, but for me, Team CD seem a little bit easier to execute. You've got Kennen, got the Viego reset afterwards, and most importantly, with nameplates on, I want to see this Rel pop off like she did, or like they did last game. If they can find another 2-man ultimate, another 4-man ultimate to finish off the game, CD are in good hands.
Yeah, definitely. Bjorn is a very strong player in his own right as of now, really making sure that his team was allowed to get as far as they could in that game, because it was very even up until Bjorn decided just that Rel is just OP. Well, him playing Rel is OP. I would have to say it that way.
Yeah, imagine this is like the epiphany of like Bjorn being born. He's like, okay, I get League of Legends. I'm kind of good at it. He finds out Rel and he just becomes the god. He somehow gets himself to the LEC, but he's just like, okay, so what we have 2 supports here. If we get Rel, I'll play. We don't get Rel, I guess we'll have a different support. But most likely can play plenty of different ones. G2 have a very different bot lane as well. And we've been hyping up this bot lane, if I'm honest. We've been saying, wow, G2 Hell's bot lane, best part, Galtis keeps having so many bans against them. They've only had 2 bans. I get that's a lot for an AD carry, but only 2 bans now. Gets a pretty solid AD carry. I need to see something from this bot lane. Otherwise, I can't justify hyping them up this much.
Yeah, right now Team CD's bot lane is just showing that they're just a bit stronger, at least in the laning phase specifically, versus G2 Hell, and they have to just step it up. I think that Xayah, Leona isn't the greatest damage duo, but they are a very good push duo, because Xayah, of course, with a feather passive, can shred through minions easily, and then use her E to bring them all back, shred the entire back wave of the minions, can really farm up well. And I like the pick specifically also because in the case that Team CD pulls ahead again, they get the Baron, and they are able, to push the waves as you should with the Baron, then Xayah gives you a little bit more minion pushback.
Yeah. Got that clear speed that you're talking about. Corki as well, Rumble, they can clear these waves almost forever unless the ban is on top of that. As we have 50 seconds till we get ourselves into the game. High stakes for both of these teams. This Tristana pick could be so detrimental towards the side of G2 Hell. They want to engage bot lane clearly. They got the Leona, they got the Xayah, plenty of CC on the lineup if they can get on top of her. But Tristana, with that jump out, you're not able to stop with any of their abilities. So safety is number one priority down there. Will they be able to survive long enough in the late game? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we will be finding out pretty soon. Of course, there's quite a bit of sustain from the Swain, as well as from the Rel, just being a good front line. And then, hopefully they will be doing enough damage together with the cannon stun to really snipe down their first target, and then just keep resetting with the Viego. The thing is, like, the upfront damage that they have in their team, it's not that big, so it might be an issue.
Yes, of course, we still have a Kha'Zix in the game. Maybe we'll have some frantic episode where he finds and engaging towards the backline, bursts someone out, as both Kennen, Swain, and Tristana, even the Viego themselves, are going to be getting killed if they are isolated alone. CD, from game 1 to game 3, looked like a completely different team. Remember the Olaf solo by themselves, trying to 1v9 now. Kennen has to be of the team, can't be making those plays alone. Otherwise, this Kha'Zix will just be taken over. So if CD want to stay here in Division 1, they have to learn, they have to adapt, and most importantly, grow into a team that can deal with that.
Well, you said adapt, you said grow. That's two things that Kha'Zix does.
Oh,
so
Rengar just comes out the bushes like, fine, I'll come in. I'll deal with him.
He even evolves. So, so that's one thing that G2 Hell has here. Of course, it's going to be a very difficult game for both of them, not just because of the team comps that they're going to face, but also because of the outside pressure that this game has to offer. Because again, as you said, if they lose, they drop down to Division 2. If they win, they stay in the bracket for now to fight their way back into Division 1. So it's just everything to lose in this game and everything to win. And this is going to be like a very big decider. I think this is going to be a banger game.
I think so as well. Well, there's actually two. One is going to be a banger, or one is going to be a sleeper fest. 50-minute slog, somehow wins one team fight, and that's it. Depends on how go-get-em both of these teams are. And Nick, there was a sort of phrasing used there, which I think perfectly describes the tremendous difficulties both of these teams find themselves in. Because you said, if you win here, you're in the bracket. If you win again... Yes. You stay in the bracket. If you win again, then you're in Division 1. We could be happy then. But you see how many hurdles after this one they have to face to just stay here in Division 1. Both of these two teams, if one goes down, we have a very high likelihood that both of these two teams are going to be going down to Division 2. So there's a lot to play for this game, but they need to improve. They need to get better after this game. So I don't want to see a 15-minute slog. I want to see perfection on League of Legends, because they might be able to beat each other today. That doesn't mean they're going to be able to beat against their next opponents.
Yeah, that simply is the biggest question. Of course,
so it's a bigger fish.
That went over my head so quickly.
Well, don't you know the thing about like big fish, small pond? No?
I'm Dutch, so no.
Okay, you know, I live in Netherlands. It's like, you know...
Oh, you mean there's bigger fish in the pond? Nah, bro.
You get the it's a bit like, you know, a fish compared to a shark compared to a human.
I would not try to fight a shark, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah, but no, humans are smarter. I get that was a bad analogy, okay?
On land, I would. Just not on water.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's like we can outthink him. I mean, are we in the pond? Are we in the... Who knows anymore? G2 Hell versus CD, about to get ourselves into game. Nick, I'm excited. You better be as well. Whoever loses here, we've already talked about the stakes. Now we actually got to see the gameplay. I hope we just have fighting, so I can just sit back, relax, enjoy the game, and you can do your play-by-play.
The thing is, like, looking at level 1, game 1 and 2, we saw that both teams were going for like a defensive positioning, where G2 Hell was just spreading across the entire, all the lanes, to make sure there's no like free invade for a first kill. Whereas their enemy was actually doing the opposite. They want to invade and they want to get that kill. We saw it fail through the bot lane. We saw it fail through the mid lane.
Topside?
Will we see topside this time? That's the question.
Yeah, let's say yeah, I'm down for this. We got the Rel. I'm still imagining in my head the 5-man Rel ultimate. I need it. I want it. I'm super excited to see it because it is going to happen with how incredible that last game is. But Countess, can they do enough on this ADK? Finally, on a champion which I can say can carry a game, Ezreal. Couldn't really carry the last game, if we're being honest. Sure, massive lead, anyone can carry a game, even a Yuumi, if it's got 5 items and everybody is DC'd. So with Azaya, if they're a slight lead, maybe that's the possibility. So I want the jungler for G2, path towards the bot side, get yourself a lead, and keep the lead. Well, of course, on the side of CD, I think the mid lane has been crucial for them. With the Tristana down towards the bot side, with their mid laner being able to keep this prio. Just keep that up. Keep the way you're going. You won last game, just do it again.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for a Swain to really do that against a Corki. But, of course, Swain does have tools to lock down the Corki with the snare, the snatchback, and just drain down the damage together with the Viego. The thing is, like, it's really up to Sha to make sure that doesn't happen. Keep the Valkyries for your own safety, and then just poke out Swain as much as you can, because the true damage of Corki is a little bit crazy. As we see here, though, game number 3 has started, everybody. And
Let's go.
Yeah, I just imagine the crowd going.
Okay.
Clap,
No,
clap, clap, clap.
you'll do the casting. We're World Finals. I'll pretend to be the crowd. Go on. Whoa, let's go. Yeah. Man, no, I'm upset.
The moment is already a little bit gone, isn't it?
I'm upset. Okay, I'll try to build this moment for you, have this excitement, but, you know, you didn't even want to go fully through with it. You got to commit to it, like these players.
I gotta feel it. All right.
Man,
so
Nick, I'm never playing bot lane with you now. Do you know why? Because I'm going to go for a play. You're not even going to follow me.
I went back to mid lane, so it's fine.
I mean, makes sense. You're probably the Swain player. Try to sleep in the mid lane.
Azir, but yes, I do try to sleep in the mid lane.
Oh my god, that's even worse.
It is.
Okay, nothing too early. Let's rein ourselves in a little bit. First auto attack of this last game to decide has already been used. So far, CD are the victors, but of course, a little bit of poke back from IKEA. Both junglers starting towards the top side, pathing down towards bot lane. Kha'Zix a little bit faster on the clear. Of course, gone for the electrocute, trying to burst someone down. With the amount of CC coming out from the Swain and the Leona, those are the 2 places I'm expecting to gank. Compared to the Viego, it's mostly about this bot lane. Seeing if you can find a kill onto either the Xayah early on, as once that level 6 ticks, you can't gank bot lane.
Yeah, I will say, though, these 2 junglers will probably farm up quite a bit for now, going for full clears and try to rush that level 6 early on. We did see a little bit of a scuffle in the bot side, but mid lane, though, it's going to be a little bit of a farm fest. I do expect Kennen to push the top wave very easily right now, so that the wave stayed. Like, I think Viego will go for earlier bot lane, as there is an engage by Rel and very good awareness of putting the CC first on the AD carry and then onto Leona, as Leona tries to protect the AD carry, and that way the trade was definitely in Team CD's favor.
Why did we give him Rel? I'm still questioning it. To this day, after seeing that last Rel game, you can't give it. Great play around this level 2. Tristana, of course, always going to be able to get that with the passive and the E. being able to clear that wave almost instantly. But yeah, Rel, you stun up someone, you W the other one to make sure they can't engage, and you just keep going. As Kha'Zix's going to be able to full clear yet again, same with this Viego, but most importantly, this mid lane, there's a bit of chunk damage from both of them, maybe a gank inbound pretty soon.
Yeah, what I personally will expect is them to get their jungle buffs and then potentially shove the waves far enough to get the Scuttle Crab, because bot lane right now is shoved up majorly in favor of Team CD, and in the mid wave is Swain winning as well. So that Scuttle Crab should go uncontested to Viego.
I'm questioning, I think Kha'Zix has made a super cool play here, and yes, from the way they're pathing, I'm loving this. So what Kha'Zix did was full clear towards the bot side like normal, but instead of going for the red buff straight away, he went towards the Krugs and then got his red buff afterwards. So he could just walk up here. Yes, he's going to be a little bit late for this Scuttle Crab, but at least he's able to pick one because of that trade towards the bot side. So G2 Hell, their jungle, are doing a very good job of clearing it, but we'll have to see if he wants to try and invade the enemy jungle here.
Yeah,
Hey, he's not going to. We saw it last game, you know, the fight for the Krugs. Not going to happen this game.
yeah, we do see Viego going back towards the top side to go for the golems about to respawn. Yep, there we go. So getting more levels on their side. Of course, we do see another Engrage great from Rel here, making sure that they have to spend some summoners here. And Zaya about to die, but I think it's going to be blue. Flashing over the wall, though. And they're safe. Oh.
That hurts. That hurts. I laughed in my soul at that point. It's a really hard wall. You have to be in the exact right spot to make it happen. So Tristana going to be able to get out to safety. Reset coming through, but Cleanse and Flash both used, and as well is not going to be able to pick up both of these waves towards the bot lane. So a significant lead for the bot lane of G2 Hell. And I said this is what they need. They need to find a way to get these people to carry. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, Rel trying to push back the wave just a little bit more. Zaya stopped. So the recall will be delayed quite a bit. That is going to be a major win for Bjorn here.
Super awkward. You want to find the reset then. Now Tristana can clear this wave and you lose a wave and a half yourself on top of this. So still...
He's doing it again. He's doing it again. He did it again. Zaya has to stay.
Don't give this guy his rel. What more do we have to say? He's able to stop everything they're trying to do, and you can already see Viego pathing towards his bot side. They can just push in this wave and grab the first dragon if they want to. So I think dragons might be a major part of these games. When you have so much pressure onto you, it's important to just have this late game insurance of what that can bring.
Yeah, as indeed they are starting up the dragon, and the Void is being pinged as well. So they want the vision on the Void grubs to make sure that it doesn't go uncontested, because it spawns quite late. You see Rel already hovering on the Drake to soak a little bit of the damage that is otherwise going onto the Viego, so he's healthy enough to potentially contest it there as well.
Yeah, doing the best of their possibilities. Void Grub should be going over towards G2. I don't think there's going to be any contention. Columbly, even though bot lane didn't work out for him correctly, or work out for them correctly, at least they get to come up, pick up some Void Grubs. You've got the Rumble, you've got the Corki, very comfortable in the side lane matchups later on. They could be able to start finding that gold lead, especially on Kha'Zix, who scales quite well in these games, but doesn't scale as well as a Viego in these major team fights.
Well, they're thinking about it, because Sunny Spot Sheena is being captured. Kha'Zix isn't strong yet in this team fight, but Rumble definitely is with that ultimate, but it is not going to be enough. Kennen with the flash engage using the ultimate here, and they will be taking down the first target. There goes the second. Leona, once you're in, you are not getting out. And that is 2 kills in favor of Team CD here.
And they were trying to burst somebody out to start the fight, G2, with that ultimate, so it was just too little too late. When you have someone like Swain and Viego in these team fights, they just heal so much up during it. So without that burst coming through, CD being able to pick up one of those Void Grubs, and more importantly, getting themselves that double kill in the mid lane. So Swain, after he gets himself a reset, he's going to be so strong. Yes, we're going to be taking a look quickly at a replay then. Oh, we get to see a little bit of low director. This is what we want for the finals of both of these teams, as everything is going down. I don't even know what's happening, but it looks cool.
Looks very cool indeed. They will be dropping 2 kills and then go on to the last Void Grub. So it will be 2-1 in favor of G2 Hell this time, but of course the kills on the opposite side. Now Cannon underneath the tower is going to be sniped and the tower doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, no, the tower's like, wait, Rumble was nearby, let me focus that. Kha'Zix, I won't worry about you. But Rel, in a little bit of an awkward situation here, trying to get themselves out to safety and will, but Kha'Zix finally finding another kill into their pocket. And it's starting to feel that CD, all of their hopes are lying towards their mid lane, already 2 kills in the pocket, finding the reset soon to get that gold onto them, while towards the top lane of the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, we have been seeing that the mid lane is definitely still going in favor of Denzel's consistently. So looking at this replay.
Yeah, so we talked about the double kill. He got the one in top lane, but he found another one in towards the enemy jungle. And this is where Kha'Zix starts feeling really good as a champion. You get level 6, you get that empowered Q, then you just run in towards the enemy jungle and look to 1v1 as much as possible. So trying to find some vision in towards the enemy jungle is the way to go. So with that double kill, I expect Kha'Zix to be pretty close to that first item.
Yeah, and the first item is going to be one hell of a difference maker because this Viego won't have the first item yet, and that means that Kha'Zix with level 7 by now is going to be online in every single team fight before Viego is. And it does mean that even though there is a 2-kill lead by the Swain in the mid lane, it might not be enough.
I definitely favor the Kha'Zix over the Swain in this 1v1.
Yeah, there will be a flash engage once again with the Rel. Bjorn popping off. Xayah forced a flash behind the ultimate, dragging back but hitting absolutely no one. So Viego cleans up that kill, and now they are looking to find another kill on Leona. There will be the lockdown, but of course, to stay safe, they don't want to further engage underneath the tower. So again, a kill found, and again, Bjorn just getting everything he wants.
And that kill going over towards Viego, trying to help him accelerate the lead just a little bit more. As G2, they're great at bursting. They have Desire, they have the Kha'Zix on top of it. But in that last fight, which might get a replay of, we can see exactly how difficult it is for them to play. Because if they don't burst anyone, this is when CD was able to shine, as Swain was able to find a W at the back of that to slow down Desire, to let the ultimate come out from Floops finding that kill.
Yeah, let's see though, they will get some plates as well, so that's a lot of gold going into the pocket of Tristana. And we've been talking about Kaltis getting finally an AD carry in her hands, but it's not looking as good as the champions she used before, because there's a oh, never mind that. Kha'Zix looking for another kill on the Viego, and will get it as well. And this is she now popping off once again. She's a fantastic player. And yeah, as the Void Grubs are about to spawn as well, just great.
Yeah, she's doing a great job being able to use this Kha'Zix, which I wasn't expecting to be coming out. First time completed, and this gold lead just has to keep building. With Kha'Zix, you just need to be further and further and further ahead. You can already see 700 on towards their enemy jungle counterpart. Even when they have the kill, when they have the 2 assists on top of it. CD, you might be good on Rel, but you're not good enough to 1v1 a Kha'Zix by yourself. But I might be wrong here.
Yeah, Rel trying to find something, but not having the flash here makes sure that she can't really engage on that. Leona was looking for something, but the end did not opt for it. Oh, there we go, getting the Zenith Blade, but just hopping away. Bjorn getting a shield for himself, and of course, still has the movement speed engaged now.
Yeah, can try finding engage if they want to try and W hex that flash onto them, but there's no real reason. You're happy with what you've gotten. You're able to steal away one of the Void Grubs before you can get stuff towards the bot side, especially with Viego. Finding that second dragon is, we're starting to see CD trying to build on their lead by taking over these objectives. With G2 Hell, it's all about this gold. Find the lead, get your Kha'Zix more kills, and playing around Vision here, they're looking for more.
Yeah, if they had a very good eye, they maybe would have spotted the wolf in the brush, but jumping away, Kha'Zix, you see them recall because the dragon was just taken. So they're really trying to see if they can get something back here.
Yeah, Blue being able to optimize their way out of that. Rumble using ultimate down towards the bot lane to clear that out. And that's the power of the Tristana in this 2 versus 2. You could just never find an engage. It's either Rel or it's nothing. And you never really want to engage on the support in that sort of situation. So G2 Hell maybe looking towards his bot lane is that wrong idea. You got Kennen up top lane, very squishy.
Did he not get a blade?
Oh,
did he not? Oh, okay, the burn from the one void grub. It was enough to capture that play.
That's so hilarious. How one void grub was the difference between getting that tower or not. Imagine having 6. Well, yeah, it would have been blown up.
Yeah, exactly. That would definitely be blown up. But speaking of being blown up, it might be Kennen here, and there's actually a preventive TP happening, but again, that will simply be a 1v1. But luckily, Swain is tanky enough to survive an upfront burst, even from a Fed Kha'Zix, so they will be fine.
Yeah, but Kennen overstaying for that means that he has to find the reset, teleport down towards the bot lane. Shah could just get a few tower plates for themselves, pick up 1, even 2 if they want to, but scared of the Viego instead. It goes for that reset. Both of these teams, I said this game was going to be long, and I think that is what's happening here. Only 13 minutes so far, but a gold lead. Not even 2,000.
Yeah, taking it slow and steady, both of these teams making sure that they get the scale. I think if we look at scaling, it might be in favor of a G2 Hell here. The thing is, we do see that Bjorn is looking for something together with his AD carry.
Yeah, that's really going to be the question. Countess on this AD carry has that first item completed, needs 2 to feel very comfortable on this. We said we need a carry performance. Let's let them get their items before we ask for that carry performance to come through, as the void grab has been started. Don't think there's going to be any contest from CD. Their junglers towards the bot side look like they'll be playing for this mid and a bot lane tower. A lot of gold to be given up if they don't get anything from this Rift held.
Yeah, I think they are opting to get the first tower. You already saw that Rumble was going back to base, just giving Swain that first tower gold, because there was nothing really that Rumble could do. Oh, there's an engage in the top lane. Actually, Kennen being stunned underneath the tower, but don't think there's anything more than they could get. Oh, Kha'Zix jumping in, securing the kill once again. 4 kills on Shina.
Yeah, finds themselves to 4 kills. We're already losing this bot lane tower. Is that enough of what they wanted? Because that's a lot of gold again on this Swain. Swain already finished that first item, getting pretty close again that second one. After the amount of gold they're piling towards their pocket, and the kills are coming through, but none of these objectives are.
Yep. As we are going to see Dragon being spawned in 2 minutes, but I believe we are going into a replay first. Here you go.
Yeah, plenty of things to talk about. It's just Colombia, the amount of CC you have on this Leona, most importantly, waiting for that Q to come through. Stun, of course, and then the rest of the team is just saying, all right, Kha'Zix, take it. Come in, find yourself the kill. Sure, not a bot diff, it's a jungle diff.
Yeah, and I really want to highlight that Kaltis was just completely playing her micro game at a very great level as well, just completely staying outside of the Kennen ultimate. Like, even if Kennen had the time to maybe move forward to get a lockdown onto Kaltis, she would still be fine because she was backstepping the entire single time. So again, good awareness on Kaltis.
Yeah, Proto Belt being available now, there is that outplay potential there, but the flash getting used in that last play and still dying means this next dragon in 1 minute not going to be available. A lot harder to get onto Desire with the ultimate, Corki with the Valkyrie, and even the Rumble having the ultimate for the spacing as well. It's going to be difficult to try and find it without that ability. Next team fight, I think, is going to be the big make or break. Is Kha'Zix going to be able to find anything onto them? Are they even going to look for it? As team fighting, you have to massively favor the CD comp.
Yeah, they were definitely looking for something, but in the end they will find nothing, so they will simply go back to their lanes. Of course, Xayah still pushing down a potential tower, so let's see if she can get that. Yep, they will be getting the gold globally, so that is a very nice gold back into their pockets. And we've been talking about game number 1 and game number 2. There was always like a big lead in favor of Team CD. This time, though, it's very close.
Only 1,000 gold lead, not as big as what they would want at this point in the game, but they're fully surrounded by them. G2 Hell looking for a play.
Yeah, and they flanked them up, and it's gonna be Bjorn trying to sacrifice himself for the sake of his team, but they don't care about the sake of their team, and now it's going to be the split fight. But Swain found the flank, and look at the sustain and damage he's going to put up on the Xayah. Xayah tries to lock him down, but the slow from Swain is going to chase Xayah down out of the fight, barely surviving that, and just the teams are completely split, and that was just Swain saving his entire team. Oh, might not be saving Rel anymore, though. Will be going away with the hop. And that was that.
Yeah, a lot of things happening, but Xayah towards the top lane gonna be able to push out the wave as this dragon seems to be CD side, as we can have another replay to truly break down everything that happened. As I love this start for the side of G2. They get themselves the first engage towards the top side, but both escape. Now Swain, being the major damage dealer, all the kills to CD are on him, and see, Rumble and Xayah are completely isolated from the fight. Can't join them, meaning they don't have the damage to kill the Viego, who finds the reset, finds themselves the first kill, and because of this Swain being so huge in this fight and getting 2 away, means that CD get a victory here.
Yeah, they were trying to go for like a re-engage, Rel overstepping a little bit, but with the safety, was able to hop just back in. Now they're trying to contest their red buff though. Viego overstepping just a little bit. There was a lot of vision from the enemy squad here, and they will be trying to get that red, although Rel is hopping back in. She wants to fight. Bjorn is just being a menace once again.
He's just looking at him saying, hey, do you want to fight?
No, Sheena, did you overstep here? That's the big question. Okay, we'll just jump out. Rel engaging up onto Colomb. She's trying to get out, but again, once Leona's in, she can't get out. Even if she doesn't want to, the Magnet Storm is going to lock down Leona, but flashing away. And now Sheena once again locked down by the Swain, getting blown up, and that is a big shutdown for this Viego.
They should be able to push this out, get themselves a mid lane tower, get vision around the Baron in 30 seconds, as Rumble's doing all that they can. Clear this wave.
Again, just a big wombo combo this time by the Swain, and this is the gold lead that we've been talking about. Swain just clearing up everybody and just sustaining it as well. Oh, Denzel is going to be a problem.
It just feels impossible to kill this Swain in the mid lane. They use everything to try to clear him out, and the question is, do they need to defend this tower? No, as we get to see another replay of the fights. This all started before this when Rel was able to find that first engage on towards it, forcing Leona to overstep, and because of that, everybody on G2 was just in an angle they didn't want to be, and this fight was so one-sided. Just started with just hitting the tower the whole time.
Yep, as we are seeing, again, this is farming up a little bit up until the new objectives are spawning. Of course, Baron is up already, so it's going to be just a contest of vision up on the top jungle side. And at the same time, Drake will take quite a while. And again, it's Team CD with the Dragon lead. They have 3 up against 0 from G2 Hell. Of course, G2 Hell has the 5 Void Crop, so they want to be pushing, but so far, Team CD doesn't really let them.
And they need to play around vision a little bit better in G2 when you have this Kha'Zix.
Oh yeah, being engaged upon. Oh, finally something whiff from Bjorn, but it doesn't matter. With the Rel, you can simply go for a second layer of CC. Now, it didn't work out because the explosion, the solar flare from Leona, makes sure that the team fight is disengaged, but it's a big ultimate to miss in the next team fight.
Yeah, Sadi Spot not having a spell shield available for another 10 seconds. Big possibility to try and pick them off here if they want to, CD. They know they scale better. They're better at team fight. If they stop any form of these weird engages, these wacky fights that G2 are going for, they truly know those are the ones they are the winners of. Solar Flare still not available for the next 30 seconds. Will be up for Dragon in 1 minute 40. And if CD pick that up, we thought Swain was unkillable before. Trust me, they're not killing it afterwards.
Yeah, and just looking at the goals on the side of G2 Hell, I think like a big question mark is how is Kha'Zix going to carry their team to a victory? Because Corki is 0-0-0, so that's not extra gold. The AD carry has 0-2-1, so all the gold is in Kha'Zix's pocket, and if you get killed every single time again, This is not going to be a way for you to carry the game. I'm not sure what Colum is doing there either, but completely out macroed and just jumping into a team here, gifting overkill.
It's just a clear pick-off. It's going to be available for the next fight in 30 seconds. And if they get this bot lane tower, it might actually be, in a weird way, kind of worth it. Because you get yourself an extra tower, they get full vision of the enemy jungle to be able to play around this next objective. So Leona dying now, I have to say, was actually worth it. But one thing I want to take note of, double TP available for the Kennen and Swain. And look at these flank wards that are possible in this next fight. Kennen could try and find a TP flank at some point in the next fight and get themselves a victory.
Yeah, we do see that Sha was there to back up the top laner here. Rel's looking for something, but only going to find the Kha'Zix here and the Corki. Viego behind it, and that's Viego going to do the burst damage onto Sha. Sha not surviving it means Floops gets the reset, and they will get the spawning Drake, and that is a soul point Drake.
Yeah, they just have to give this. There's no way to go in. Maybe because Ziggs with the R and Q could get in there invisibly, or like with the invisibility, but it's just so hard to try and do anything. The amount of CC from the Swain, from the Rel on top of in the past 2 games, what can you really do? So Soul Point and so over towards CD. G2 Hell trying to gain vision around this top side, but it just feels like their game is falling apart.
Yeah, of course, it is the Hextech Dragon, and I don't think that Team CD can really get much out of it, except on the Swain. Very good Dragon for Swain himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very good, of course, for Viego, even the Kennen, even the Rel. People that, once they get super low in these fights, still want to try and get a second rotation of the spells. And that's when they are starting looking the best. Even the Tristana isn't too upset with how this has been going, and I'm thinking hard about what's the way G2 Hell can get back into this, and it still is these pickoffs. If they can find a way with Sunny Spot to kill a Tristana before a fight, maybe look on the Viego themselves, that's the way they can get in it. But it just constantly feels like they never want to engage. They always are trying to stop what CD is doing.
Yeah, we do see that Swain is being brought to the table to stop the constant Rumble push here, so Rumble will be moving upwards towards the mid lane to set up a potential Baron fight. Thing is though, is it worth it at this point? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure because they still scale fine, but I don't think it's enough. G2 Hell really are getting backed into a corner. 4,500 down, sure, isn't that amount of gold, but the way these team fights have been looking is feeling more like a 10,000 gold lead. But they have vision on their side. Maybe they can look for a death bush. Maybe try and do the thing that Fnatic does. But I'm guessing G2 doesn't want to do a Fnatic death bush.
They might be showing themselves here. Saya pushing back the feathers just for a little bit poke, but it doesn't matter in the end. Of course, the ward placed just now was just for the burst of vision that they need to make sure that they know that Baron is not being taken. So they will simply push out mid, get priority, and in the bot lane though, Base Hunter, the Swain being shot at by Corki, and it will be Kha'Zix just looking for an angle for a kill, but Floops not sure, just walking into 2 members, hopping over using the Heartbreaker, has to get out. Oh, but there is the enemy team on the flank. We do see a Hextech Flash coming over together with the Tristana for the burst of damage together with the Swain. And that Rumble ult really paying dividends here on the back line, but will be taken down just before Tristana burns away. And they will TP back into the mid lane just to save that tower, but will it be enough? Yes, barely.
Yeah, Swain in the mid lane being able to defend this. Columbia having ultimate does not land, and this Leona tried to join the fight, but it's just too little too late as they're looking again.
Yeah, and Leona sacrificing herself just to make sure that Kaltis gets to run away. But again, that Bjorn with the W, making sure there's a knock-up on the Leona, also gets to chase Zaya a little bit more. So really looking to force her to back at a very late stage, and they could potentially start the Baron here.
Yeah, with the Viego damage, it should be going down in a pretty quick fashion, and you just have to question, what was G2's plan there? Were they looking to bait down towards the bot side to get this mid lane tower? If you're doing that, Leona has to stay towards the mid lane, look to try and burst out one of these members. They're just so far behind though.
Yeah, Kha'Zix trying to look for a little bit of vision. So the Baron has been stopped by that blue trinket.
Yeah, going to be able to stop it here. Not wanting to go over too far. Bjorn on his own.
Ooh, great timing actually to snipe Bjorn out, because Bjorn was the only member who was stopped there. Now saw that Swain was about to hop over for the vision, so has to concede that potential kill. So mid tower safe, Baron safe, and of course Bjorn also safe for now.
Yeah, we're going to have a quick replay of another fight in a second. Wait, another fight.
Oh, yeah, and getting a hop here does not reset on the bomb, so no second hop to kill the Kha'Zix here, and they will be running to safety.
Yeah, going to be able to get themselves out to safety. Baron is going to be getting called out, but let's take a little look at his backside of this fight. As Shah trying to go for the outplay here, not really much you could do against the cannon, is there? If he wants to go in, he will go in there. So then, flash over the nice Q. Oh, flash over the rocket. I did not see that. That was some beautiful gameplay from the cannons. Another fight.
And again, Bjorn with a phenomenal engage. Leona getting 3 stuns, but there's no one to really back her up in this case. Colombi about to die, but of course it's not a priority target. Colombi has to sacrifice herself, maybe. Ooh, trying to get a little bit of poke though. Rumble trying to snipe a kill on the Bjorn, and now Corki, look at that, has a great positioning to go for some burst damage, but again, just the disengage from Team CD, which is well done enough. Now they will re-engaging from G2 Hell, and they will be trying to snipe down the Viego, but Viego with movement speed is able to run away from the burn from Rumble. And now engage once again. We do see a TP on the side. Rumble will be going down first. Leona will follow. That is 2 kills for Team CD, just completely turning around unfavorable match into a favorable one there.
And this Swain just feels unkillable. They're finding stuff on the side lanes, but they just shouldn't be overextending here. Yes, they are low themselves, but they have the soul and you don't. Get yourself out to safety, get yourself to find those resets, and just keep farming up as much as possible. So the longer the game goes, gold matters less, and of course, that matters less, as we are going to be having a quick replay of everything that happened. As this first play looked so good for CD. Bjorn is able to space apart, allowing Clumby to be the one engaged without any help. But with him not going down, you see this mixed fight where it's all about this Swain stopping 2 members of G2 finding this re-engage. And now they just want to run away. They don't want to have anything to do with this fight. They're so scared of Kha'Zix finding these resets. But of course, they're able to still do this. If they go in like this, it's only 2 members who are able to fight.
Yeah, speaking of fights, here we go again. Viego using the lockdown from Rel to get a kill, get a reset. Leona getting an ultimate to disengage the fight, but they have to go for this fight because it's an all or nothing. It's an Elder. Ooh, Rumble getting great burn onto the cannon. Will he pop? Barely not. So they will have to concede the Elder Drake here. Can't really fight anymore. And Team CD is in a very good position now to take this entire game.
When your smite's down, there's nothing you could do against it. We only saw the start of that fight. We didn't get to see exactly what happened there, but Kha'Zix being down at the start, you just can't let that happen. So we're going to have another replay to see exactly how they did get themselves towards that soul pointers. It's just a great little outplay there. Everybody on G2 just slightly too far up, finding themselves the first reset, and it's just... It's just getting destroyed. G2 is just not able to do anything in these fights. They can't even look for more after this, as when they do, they are the ones getting bursted out themselves.
Yeah, it feels like it's a little bit of disjointed communication where some members are too far up while the other people are just lagging behind. Rel trying to find something here, getting the red buff, I believe, with the W for his team. So as another little bit of a win, like having a permanent slow.
It's really difficult. This Elder Dragon up for another minute. They have to try and survive, give up as much as possible, and then look for a team fight afterwards. They still have the possibilities. They got the Kha'Zix. They have Desire with 3 items. We said if there's any way for G2 to win this, it has to be this AD carry popping off, and they have to do it in this next team fight.
Yeah, if they don't do it in this upcoming team fight, it is going to be never, because this is our last chance in the Division 2. Let's see the engage. It is coming from Team CD with a little bit of a bomb drop, but Inhibitor being down, they have enough minions to potentially end this game. You will see a fight. Rumble trying to clear all the enemies' minions, but Rel trying to lock down the Saya. It will be possible to take her down. Cannon sniping her down. Swain does all the damage on the rest of the team. That is a double kill for the Cannon, and only an ace for Team CD. They will be taking down this Nexus, and they will be taking this best of 3. Is them moving on in the bracket, and is G2 Hell moving down to Division 2.
A difficult time, not what G2 Hell wanted at all. But of course, a big congratulations to Team CD getting themselves towards that next revival opportunity. They still have to win again to give themselves in Division 1, but they've done it once. I think they can do it again. G2 Hell, though, it's a tough one to swallow. They have big possibilities in the game because 6 being 4-0, I thought that they were going to be able to do it, maybe finding more picks on the side lanes, but with this Viego, with Durrell, the 2 champions we said needed to be bad in that 3rd game to give them any chance were let through. And you could see it, especially with Bjorn on that rail, being able to find some crucial engages, especially at the end there, being able to pick off the jungler, get themselves the Elder and finish off the game.
Yeah, it was, I mean, if you can look for an MVP this set, it was definitely Bjorn for me. Personally, just having all the engages that he wanted, really getting the space as well to do it. That his team is set up completely for Bjorn. Just go in and then just burst everyone down who happens to be in the Magnet Storm. And it just goes to show that Team CD's team fighting, they're not just for fun, because, I mean, they are having fun, but no one else is.
You know what? We're at the end of this. If you guys have not checked out CD's Twitter, it is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I can't say what is their banner, but chef's kiss. So if you get a chance, just search up CD Twitter. Fantastic place. A team that really deserves to be here. And the big thing that we were hearing behind the scenes is this is a truly Swedish organization. They're here from the start. Just a ton of friends having fun, and if they get to go far, they're still just going to be enjoying League, and that's I think what got them through the hurdles. Because even with how difficult the first game was, falling down, losing that game because the Olaf was overstepping, they were able to reunite, come as a team, and get themselves to victory. And that's the big thing that we strive here as anyone in League of Legends, is having a good game, but just enjoying the game after it. Because hey, we're not professional ourselves. These guys are semi-professionals to full professionals. It's still about just enjoying the game.
Yeah, enjoying the game comes first. After that is whatever happens next, because if you don't enjoy the game, then why compete at all, right? I think that's like step number 1, just having fun.
Oh, that's what we do. I hate the game. I can't stand it. When I play solo queue, my eyes bleed. That's probably why these guys are playing competitive. That's why you and me clash, you know?
I mean, I personally enjoy League, but I don't play it competitively, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
One of the few people who can say they actually enjoy playing League of Legends. So I'm happy. I'm happy in this game.
Yeah,
I'm happy to cast these great games alongside you as well. Believe production is trying to see if they can get a post-game interview. So if one of the team members is hearing this, you can probably hop into the voice and see if we got some great answers for you.
Yeah. Plenty of questions to ask them, but of course, if they don't want to, we do not have to. But the Swedish League has been quite a fierce competition, got plenty of names on it. I saw that K5 was here as well. Of course, casting NLC Division 2 myself, I was happy to see that. And plenty, of course, of big names as well.
Yep. Let's see what production's saying. Okay, we do get the top laner, so we can get them to ask about the Olaf.
Yeah, we'll go from the bad moments to the good moments. That really should be the question.
We're gonna build that up. All right, so let's get them in as fast as we can. In the meantime, though, let's talk about G2 Hell's upcoming battles, because of course, dropping down a division, it does feel bad, but again, you only drop a division, you can get an entire season just to come back stronger, potentially dominate that division, and just climb back up to Division 1, right?
Sorry, I'm having you here. Oh, dropping a division isn't that bad. Yeah, it is. You don't want to drop a division. It takes a full split to get back, and I'm not having none of this.
Of course you don't want it, but you have to look at it from the bright side. You have to.
There is no bright side, man. There isn't.
Oh, you're the guy
Okay,
who
let
just
me
goes
explain.
into the you're going to the cafeteria, you're getting a beer, you're getting drunk, you're like, oh, I'm so depressed.
I mean,
But
I'm a
you
football
can
fan.
also-
My team that I support goes down
So
3
over.
divisions,
It's
and
so over.
they're still in the same division. It's been like 5 years, okay? When you're down, it's hard to get back up. It's easy to stay. It's not easy to get back up. So G2 Hell in a difficult time. Remember, they were in NLC Division 2, and now they are here in Swedish League Division 2. I want to see, that magical rise again. G2 Hell, where everything broke apart, and then they get themselves back up to Division 1.
Exactly, that's a story that they're going to build now. But we have another story coming from Team CD's top laner, Stan Hart. How are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
I'm good as well. It was a banger set. So talk to me about the Olaf, really, because you looked very strong on the Olaf early on. Were you that confident as well?
I mean, yeah, I was quite confident. I thought I would be able to just run them down without dying, but I died a lot that game. Quite unfortunate.
So,
yeah.
was that overconfidence? That was the question we really wanted to know.
I mean, maybe a bit overconfidence, I think. I mean, partially that, and also I'm not sure Olaf was the pick, because, like, sure, I can get into the back line, and I kind of killed, like, one of the carries at least, but it was hard for my team to, like, follow up when I was diving deep, and once you're deep with Olaf, you can't really turn back, because you need that ult to stay upright, so
Yeah,
it was quite hard to
completely.
play the fights, but yeah, probably a bit too overconfident.
I mean, that's the fun about it. You guys really railed it in on that second game, making sure that everybody was playing together. Of course, going 1-0 down, was there any sort of attitude shift going into it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been playing kind of bad all day. Our coach Frekte came in. He started flaming me like crazy. So I was like, okay, I have to step up here. So I just focused more. I think I was the issue in the first game, but I stepped up the last 2 games. My team as well, of course, and we just played a more like methodical game, a bit slower, not rushing things, and it seemed to work out.
Yeah, it seemed to definitely work out in favor of the support. So we really need to talk about Bjorn a little bit as well, because how much was that rel worth for you guys? We saw it on the cast, but how did it feel to play this?
Yeah, it's a whole nother game with Bjorn's rel. Not gonna lie, we call it the rel buff. So. Yeah,
I said second game, you can't let that through. I said, don't let Viego, don't let Relview. After you guys got those 2 picks, the game was yours.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, we're first time in Viego, by the way, so it was really nice performance from our jungler.
Are you talking about first timing it, like ever, or do you mean first timing in professional play?
I mean, maybe that's like maximum 1 game of it in solo queue. I don't know, but I've never seen him play it, so.
That's so illegal that works, and he played it so well.
Yeah, he did actually. We were all surprised, but we was like, okay, like game 2, right? We were like, okay, if we're gonna lose, we're out. So let's just, if so, go out on a banger. Let's just cook some things, and he just locks Viego. We're like, yeah, sure. And it worked.
Can we talk about the sort of atmosphere behind the scenes of CD? Because for us, when we're looking at your Twitter, it just seems like it's a bunch of friends hanging out and having a good time. And after that statement you said about that random Viego pick, and you're like, let's win it. How would you describe the team atmosphere and really what you guys are striving to do?
I mean, the team atmosphere and the culture is really nice. It's by far the most nice atmosphere and culture I've had in any team, and we're a really nice gang together. We really enjoy playing together. We've not had that much of a success in this split, but outside of league and outside, like out of game, it's a really good vibe. So I really like it.
Yeah. So looking into the future, who do you expect to face in this upcoming match? What do you think your preparations will be?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know who we're facing tomorrow. Do you guys know?
Haven't you heard this man speak and how the team culture is? Do you think this guy thinks about what he's having for dinner tomorrow?
Okay,
Let
so
alone the next game.
I can tell you now, it will be Lungfist Dark Side. So you know who to face now.
Is that spicy?
All right. I mean, might be. I'm not sure who plays there, but I mean,
Okay, that's great.
maybe. I think we're gonna win for sure. It's
I love the confidence.
It's gonna be easy wins tomorrow.
I do have one question for you. I know, of course, talking about the future is scary, something that clearly you're just like, any game comes, I don't really mind. But is there any sort of goal you're aspiring to do? It can either be in league with this team or just in general with yourself.
My goals.
Yeah.
I mean, in league, of course, like
Become
taking
rank
playoff.
one.
Yeah, I mean that as well. I mean, it's just a matter of time, right? But I mean, in Seoul, like the goal has been, of course, like taking top 4, going to playoff. I think that would be fun, like meeting up the gang with Team CD. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that this split, but who knows? Maybe sometime in another universe or something. But that was the goal. But yeah, maybe next split. But we're probably not. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, maybe next split.
You have so many positive vibes. You gotta believe in yourself. Think that you can do. You already beat G2 Hell. Why can't you beat next team?
I mean, we can beat the next team, but like G2 Hell was the worst team in this tournament. So I mean, we're not gonna be too confident here.
I was about to say
we are confident.
drama.
We are confident,
but you're trash talking G2. I'm going to tell them all about it.
No, I'm not trash talking. This is factual. They are the bottom place team in the tournament.
Oh no, keep going. Keep digging your hole.
I mean, I'm gonna stop there.
If you ever get to LEC, G2 is not signing
to
you.
Elaborate further. Yeah.
Nah, it's all jokes. It's all a bit of fun.
Yeah. All right. So your next opponent will be Lungfist Dark Side, and we will actually be raiding them very shortly. So again, thank you so much for being here, Sobok. Congratulations again on your win. We'll be shutting down the stream here, but of course you can stay here after all this amazing trash talk. Yeah, I have to stop it before it gets out of hand, unless you have some last words.
No less words.
Man, you had such a big build up. You could have been like, damn you, okay. G2. Come on, you got this.
I just want to say shout out Bully, my G. That's all.
Man, he's even into people bullying. Oh my god, what is this guy like? Wow, really. But Nick, been an absolute pleasure so far. Absolutely 2 incredible games. Hopefully we get to do this again. But of course, I'll leave you to finish off the stream.
Well, we are going to head into the next matches with Lungfist playing their games already, I believe. So definitely stay here because we'll be raiding them soon. So more league action coming your way. Of course, we'll be signing off, but we will be back tomorrow for more league action. So follow the channel, sub if you want, and we'll be seeing you soon again.